emerging tech at the school level ICSE and strengthening technology education DISA AI DPDP for professional accountants. He is an institutional builder. He is a TEDx speaker. He is a startup mentor, and also, as I have mentioned, what not. So, may I once again, welcome Saurabh sir to this platform, and we are really looking forward to listen to you. And now, over to you, sir.
So, good morning, everyone. Uh, Thanks, ICI Kolkata, for inviting me and giving me this particular platform for sharing some valuable thoughts and technical discussions with you all. I'm sure in next 60, 70 minutes I have, you will be slightly upgraded in terms of data privacy protection and what controls and steps needs to be taken by a chartered accountant to ensure the data which you are dealing through AI is in a safe and a secure manner. I have a very unusual request to make first. Most of the people take that when the session is going on, you should keep your mobile phones off. I say you keep your mobile phones on, just keep it silent, upside down, right? And listen what I'm interestedly talking to you all. Do your mobile phones contains PAN cards, Aadhaar cards, which are being shared via photographs on WhatsApp with you by your clients? Does they contain a lot of emails in which you have privacy data, you have financial data? Some of you might be dealing into patents and intellectual data, so that becomes another thing which is there lying in your mobile phones. You might be downloading certain files, you might be accessing certain platforms like income tax and all for notification on your mobile phones as well. So my simple question is that with agentic AI and AI platforms taking a major shape today, what happens? That is one specific question which I need to talk or ask with you all. That is, what happens when intelligence receives authority? You know, agentic AI or AI agents, whatever you develop, are executing the task on behalf of humans, correct? That means what was being expected to be done by human is today being executed with the help of autonomous tools. So is it receiving the authority? Yes. So my simple question is that what is going to happen if intelligence is going to receive the authority? And that intelligence is outside the control of humans. And humans who are technically sound in that particular domain, what will happen? So what happens? Let's understand that. What happens when an AI system is allowed not merely to answer, but to open up the emails, to open up the attachments, to communicate with your ERP systems, to create a vendor records, to draft a journal on behalf of you, to post an entry, to upload a documentation, and maybe to initiate the payment also. Are we heading into a safe AI domain with all this high-end automation? which you are intended to do at your own office, but not knowing whether this is a right and appropriate way or not, whether it is meeting up the data privacy compliances which are now released and coming up almost on the daily basis by multiple regulatory authorities or not. So my point is that please listen from that perspective, that automation is safe or not from data privacy point of view. And I expect you all to understand the situation is going to arise in your own office in times to come, which is very obvious. Because acceptance of AI is much faster with chartered accounting as compared to any other profession in the country. You should be proud of that. At the same time, you should be slightly suspicious about the safety part as well. I've been privileged to be a part of ICI. At the same time, I'm also privileged to be a part of other bodies like National Medical Council of India or IMA, Indian Medical Association of Doctors and all. I can say that acceptance of technology, typically AI, is much faster with chartered accountants. Because for you, it's main part of documentation calculation, which can be automated. For doctor, it is a lot of other analytical aspects also included, including understanding a patient's profile precisely. Right. So they are not accepting this too fast as compared to CA. That means you are slightly more vulnerable than any other profession community. So understand from that perspective whether this AI era is creating an opportunity for you or an opportunity with a responsibility for you concerned about data privacy and protection. So focus on that. One small question which I want you all to respond. Whether your chat GPT knows about your client more than you know about them. Or maybe any of the AI tools, whatever you are using, chat GPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever. Do they know more? Yes. And if they are knowing more, that means if automation can happen, this particular thing is by default opening up their privacy data in an open mode into a public domain area as well. Right? So suppose let's have a small question. Let's have a look at this. Some of you might be asking a question with your AI tool that analyze these files of my client and suggest me whatever your problem statement is. Maybe how to save the text, maybe how to expand the business operations, maybe how to strategically align much better in the company market space. So you might be uploading certain content of your client on AI platforms and asking certain questions from those. Now, when you're uploading a content, does that content have a lot of information and data, maybe related to bank account information, maybe related to PAN and Aadhaar, maybe related to pricing, maybe related to logistic arrangement, litigations, digital signatures, customer transactions, and all? If it is, then you should be slightly worried about it. I'm not talking that you should be only and only worried about it. I'm saying you should be slightly worried about it, whether we are on the right track or not. And why I am saying so, because I have certain facts and figures to be showcased on that. And these are like available and displayed or published by Government of India. Can you imagine the incidents of cyber incidences in India have got 110% growth in last 4 years? The National Cyber Reporting Platform has witnessed 40 times higher notifications from multiple people. Fraud complaints have increased 9 times in last 2 years, 3 years. The data breach cost, which was coming down to be 17.9 crore per data breaches, has rose to 23% and resulted in more than 22 crore per data breach to the organizations. Now, these figures are not only surprising but also horrifying. And when the financial and data things clubbed up together, chartered accountant has to be a person who has to think on that. And these are facts and figure up till 2025, 26 is still going on. So compilation is still pending, but I'm sure this figure is going to rise much more in 2026 because more of AI engagement means more of risk factor. Now, if these are the scenarios, can you imagine what kind of a role a chartered accountant has to play in next 5 to 7 years down the line when automation is going to take a key role then rather than just being a financial guider, you should be a digital trust professional. And that is what I'm intended to make sure that once you go out of these 2 days of discussion of AI and all, you should, rather than talking about adoption of technology, you should change your mindset to be a digital trust professional who can not only guide your client related to automation, but also taking them what are the safe and secure aspects of automation, considering the compliances and regulatory guidelines which are coming up on the regular basis. Now, before we move forward, I would like you to see a video, right? Although I'll tell you clearly that's a deep fake video which is created with the help of AI. This particular video was circulated couple of years back on most of the platforms. And that particular video has resulted into a bigger financial fraud. Now, why? Just have a look at it.
Today, I want to present a new project
Mr. Narayanmurthy,
with a 94% success rate of quantum AI. This is the world's first quantum computing software developed by my team. Quantum AI is an ideal tool for making a profit from trading stocks with minimal risk. But our mission is not only to make money on quantum computing. That will help solve global problems such as poverty. And if you want to start now, it's time to join Quantum AI in the early stages. You can expect to earn up to $3,000 on your first day of work. My team of experienced engineers and technicians from APL, Facebook, and Google have worked tirelessly to make this software an excellent assistant in stock trading.
now he was asking you to invest into a quantum AI. He has said through this video that we have worked with tech giants all over the world, and obviously Infosys and other tech giants. And it's a very trustable figure in the Indian tech domain, Mr. Narayan Murthy. The video of this particular deliberation. Leave the quality part of it. Quality can be enhanced at any point of time. Do you believe that people will trust on this particular video and maybe start investing into this particular company or the account which he has talked about? And if these kind of videos are coming up, if certain other respected individuals in the country, which includes maybe the legendary Bharat Ratna Ratan Tata ji, if there is a session of him or maybe a video of him, and maybe few other individuals who are like very known personalities in the country, these kind of content are for sure going to strike the mind of an individual. And he has said that first day you invest $3,000, and from next day onwards, you can take around $1,500 per month as a return on investment. So that is X rupees invested and one day 2X getting return every month. It's like the best of the best investment strategy. Right. And when the returns comes, Indians are like the most foolish people on the earth. We invest on whatever. Now, this is the past in which generative AI is helping you in generating deepfake videos. Today, it can take decisions on behalf of you and execute the financial transactions also if you have permitted them. So is the problem reduced or increased in last 2 years? Increased. And in last 2 years, whether you believe or not, which I'm going to showcase to you, there are more than 100 notifications, regulations which have come up from different regulatory bodies, compliance authorities, and also from government of India related to ministries related to cyber security, related to cyber resilience, and related to data protection. From the smallest of the entity, like school, to a listed company, from a bank to a medical hospital, every authority, whether it is banking authority, SEBI, IRDA, data protection law, certain as a body, almost everybody has come up with their own guidelines. And the scenarios are much more changing in last 2 years. So before 2 years, we were hardly like 24 guidelines. Today, we have hundreds of guidelines, and almost every now and then there is anything coming up. Yesterday only, I was speaking to Audit in the morning today itself. Therefore, yes, yesterday, last night, there were new regulations coming up from RBI side. And yesterday in the morning, when I was traveling, being in Kolkata, I get to know that this particular thing have come up, and after reading it out, I realize that RBI is going multi-fold ahead in terms of implementing controls. In suggesting controls, implementation will take time. That means authorities are foresighted. Are we in parallel to it? If not, challenge. So let's look forward for that. So what is the risk shift which has happened? Just focus on this. In 2021-22, it is digital-led risk, which is technology-led risk, which was AI has recently come up and we have come from pandemic era. And we are slightly more tech aligned as we were in 2018, which everybody knows. Jumping up on virtual meetings has become common scenarios for all of us. Communicating and sharing things on media platforms, including WhatsApp, is becoming again very common things for us. Keeping more of digital content on our systems rather than physical papers in our office is again becoming very common for us. So it was digital like this. Last year end, we were more connected to AI generated risks. But from now onwards, we have to more focus on agentic and automated risks and all. Because we have made our ERP in sync with process automation. And I'm sure you all are interested to make sure that when you are before coming to this AI summit, you are interested to make sure that processes of things can be automated. That is less of human involvement because आपके पास पैसे भी नहीं मिल रहे हैं. Right, less of human involvement and more of faster automation on which you can rely. That is your perception. But you should rely or not. That's a question to ask. I always say chartered accountant should not jump into technology. That how technology is working, you should know what should be done in legal parameters, which is not going outside the compliance domain is yet to be known. So in technology, how things are happening is not a bigger question for you. The bigger question is what needs to be done in the right areas. So with the way we are heading towards technology and the fastest development in AI which is happening, is forcing us to look into that. And that is what my client discussion is. That is why this problem has increased. Let's do 5 years back. When for developing of a software, you need a programmer. Am I right? You have to tell your problem statement to an engineer who is slightly aware about C, C++, Java, Python, and all is going to code your tools. Right? And that means they are not only coding, they are ensuring that entire process is being trusted and secured. Now, with the advent of AI, and AI is giving capabilities of programming as well, that is known as light coding, anyone of us can code. You can develop a software without even knowing a single syntax of any programming language. You just have to tell develop Python code, Python is available. You have to say develop HTML, HTML is available. So are we creating possibilities or is the bridge between safe and unsafe is being lowering down? Yes. So the reality is AI does not create more hackers. AI creates capabilities of doing something which is comparable to hackers. Now, even without doing anything, can you tell AI to create a virus to corrupt the word file, all word file on XYZ systems? Maybe your rival, right? A competitor who has snatched few clients of yours. Can you ask AI to develop a virus? And you can attack that virus or a malicious code via email, send it to the person, and as soon as the person opens it and click that particular email, that infection spreads. So you'll be more happy. Can this be possible today? So everybody is not looking for the technology in the creative manner. There are multiple individuals who are only interested to look forward and use this technology for a destructive purpose. And that is a bigger chunk of people. Because we are living into Kalyug and यहाँ पे कोई धर्मात्मा नहीं है. सब आतंकवादी उग्रवादी अंदर से. अगर आपको भी ऑप्शन मिलेगा और आपको बोल दिया जाए ना कि 2 खून माफ है, तो आप पहले से लिस्ट बना के बैठे हो किसको मारना है. Correct? So here, live coding is making the software development faster. It's also ensuring that vulnerabilities are being there in the systems. It has not been tested on the security domain, and where this particular data is hosting, nobody knows. Do you know where the live coding platforms on which you are developing your tools and hosting your data or attaching your data, where the data is moving? Are you aware of that? So if you are not aware of the destination, should you be involved into these kind of software development without control aspects? My option is no. Because the differentiation which has happened in last 5 years is that from automation, which was of this side, That is, things are very well known and drafted by a developer. It has moved to that side, which is agentic AI, wherein the path is not decided by you. Path is decided by the agentic AI tools to execute something. Earlier, the path was known and it was visible. Because as a software developer, we know from where it is moving. But today, even when we request to agentic AI to do something, we are not aware from where the data is being fetching and from where the data is actually finally moving. So from automation, which was a traditional systematic process, we have moved to agentic AI, which is taking the decision on its own, making the path on its own. This is even more questionable aspect for me. And you won't believe that overall permissions we have already started giving to agentic AIs. Agentic AI is capable of entering into your CRM. Agentic AI is able to enter into your Google Drive. It is able to check your Gmails. It is able to make payments on your systems. It is capable of entering into GST and income tax details and fetching the documentation for you. It is able to process the financial transactions on behalf of you. But sometimes at the last to your email, to your boss, or maybe service to your staff on a particular day, they are able to execute that. And if you are executing and integrating all these things, again, my questions, are you aware about the data flow movement? Are you taking the data flow governance at your own expense? Question is clear cut. No, you don't know how it is happening. You are only worried about God, mura maza aata hai. Right? So automation has become the new craziest thing in the market. This is leading to 7 distinctive privacy collisions. These are like 7 areas which are showcasing that yes, there's a clear cut gap between what should be there and what is happening. Let's have a look at it. Purpose drift. You are more interested to what is happening rather than how it is happening. And these models are silently taking your data and sharing to multiple places. Or maybe storing for their own purpose of operation as well, might not be sharing. Like your chat GPT. Now, when you upload any document to chat GPT, is that chat GPT or any of the AI tools you're using is maturing their own LLM based on your own data? कि वो अपने सिस्टम को ज्यादा मैच्योर कर रहे हैं आपके डेटा से. सो क्लियर कट ड्रिफ्ट हो रहा है. सेकंड, परमिशन इन्फ्लेशन. That is receiving entire system access rather than a particular file access. When you give them access, you give access to the entire drive. Yes or no? Or are you giving access to a particular folder, particular file? No, entire drive. When you give access to your Gmail, you are actually giving access to the entire Gmail account. And on that same Gmail account, you are receiving the OTPs for multiple things as well, which are the entire Gmail access has been given to them. So is the permission inflation is there? Yes. Cross-client contamination. When you are giving access to your Google Drive, if that particular Google Drive in which your X client data is there, your ABC, PQ client data is also there. You are able to compare and analyze that. Yes, that is possible. How many of you have heard about vector database? Anyone? Fine. So what is vector database was? Now filter the database which is created by you for your own purpose, which is tagged, previously tagged. Correct? Now, where you are hosting your vector databases on your own server or on the cloud? On cloud. And are you deleting it after the purpose has been solved? No, never. That means your vector database, which is been created for a particular purpose, once the purpose is solved, the deletion is not happening. And if that thing is exposing and gradually even more exposed to the entire data to certain platforms, and not one of you are not putting up the company that as well. आपका डेटा बढ़ता जा रहा है, आपको पता नहीं उसको डिलीट कब करना है और क्यों करना है और कहाँ से करना है. You are just storing because the giving platforms or high platforms are not charging anything from you. वो जिस दिन चार्ज करेगा उस दिन अपनी स्पेस खाली करने जाओगे आप. So machine memory overflow is happening. You are connecting to multiple APIs today. When you are developing an application and hosting on a cloud platform with the help of vibe coding tools, you are connecting to multiple APIs, and multiple APIs are actually hidden from your domain areas as well. So are these multiple APIs or plugins which are being connected to your applications are being sharing the data at multiple places without your permission? Yes. The document which is sending emails. I was just discussing with Shakib just 10 minutes before. he came up here, that one of a CA firm in Chhattisgarh has requested me to automate a communication process so that standard communication can happen with their or customized communication should happen with the client, and the data should be fetched from Google Drive, and specific mail is drafted using Gemini, using coding platforms like Google Apps Scripts and all, and a template which is already been pre-fixed with the letterhead on Google Docs. So template will come from Google Docs. The data will be generated by Gemini from the email which is coming up or from the WhatsApp which is coming up, and the communication should be to the client. They want this automation to happen. I said that's very good. They are very craziest inclined towards doing it because they feel like now this particular communication is making the client more connected to us. Like this is the firm which is sending the fastest communication, so we should learn that. And this particular thing is spread out. You get more clients. Because that's fine. But when you are talking about responses of your emails or of your WhatsApp messages, are you only getting professional communications? Are you not getting personal communications and some communication which needs to be hidden from everyone else? I said that, do you want that also to be read and communicated after 1 minute of conversation only? Because there might be some communication which you want to even hide with your responses also. If that is being taken over by AI and responding and responses is being covered by AI, is the privacy is by default breathing. Yes. So keep the jokes apart. My point is that look forward for security before jumping into technological. Security has to be by design, not an afterthought. If not, is getting afterthought for you all. आप सिक्योरिटी के बारे में बाद में सोचते हो, टूल बन गया, ऑटोमेशन हो गया, जिस दिन बन गया कुछ सोचेंगे क्या करना है. Whereas security by design होना चाहिए, ना कि security should be an afterthought. So a small question with you all. Please have a look at the question. I need the answer. Does that happen? For computing of GST and all, you get an OTP? Fine. Now you share an OTP with the AI. You can integrate the OTP by default, your mobile phone by default, so that OTP is by default read by AI itself rather than you feeding OTP. What is the right option here? C? D. Ask the AI to promise not to misuse. Very good. You are asking AI to promise yourself. आपको क्या लगता है ये प्रॉमिस निभाता है? That's a perceived guardrails, not an implemented guardrails. आप AI को बोलो मेरे डेटा को ब्रीच नहीं करना. You should promise to me. ये तो आप हाथ रख के कसम खाओ मेरा डेटा ओपन नहीं करो. हाँ सर. सर मतलब आप मेरे से बोल रहे हो कि मैं आपको अपने अफेयर के बारे में बता रहा हूँ, मैं किसी और को नहीं बताऊंगा. मेरे से सुनने के बाद डिलीट कर देगा. मैं तो और 4 दिनों को बताऊंगी, मुझे मजा आएगा. You cannot say AI to delete after the usage. And is AI deleting? Whether you can confirm to that or not? Can you do that? No. Right option is C. Stop. You should not share your OTPs because these are like authenticated credentials which are helpful in executing the transaction, and that transaction is human dependent transaction. Now, if something goes wrong with all this tomorrow, liability किस पे आएगा सर? AI पे कि आप पे? Liability falls on you. Because the client is trusted you for executing the transactions, and it is you who has trusted AI. And you are telling AI to delete this. Sir, I was using Agent AI when it was long back, almost an year and a half, when Agent AI come up. Somebody told me that Saurabh, you travel a lot. And most of the time you travel, you try to get your travel tickets and hotel bookings done with travel agent. Because I don't have time for doing this manually. I'll tell okay, I'm staying in suppose 5 kilometer radius, or I'm working in Connaught Place or Newtown. I need a hotel within 2 kilometer vicinity. with a budget range of this, with a star rating of this. Please book up a hotel for me. Can agent EIA, which is primarily for hotel booking and all, can book that for me, sir? Now, sir, completing the booking. Whether this agent EIA is going to ask me the payment gateway's permission or not, because suggesting something is one way, but booking is one I'm actually interested in, for which I'm in the travel agent. So rather than travel agent works, now my application, which is an agent for travel, is now working out. Now, should I share my credit card details, OTPs, or UPI payment credentials to agent AI? Very simple. So that means all agentic AI are again going to serve a particular purpose to an extent as soon as the communication is requiring some sort of credentials and privacy content to be shared. You should be reading it. You should not be sharing it because once you share it, also you will use करके delete करना. सर पेमेंट गेटवे आपके मोबाइल पे आते हैं जिसको आप एग्जीक्यूट करते हो एजेंट की है परमिशन नहीं देने का एग्जीक्यूशन that is my point. So if you are sharing your agent API to give the permission, so mention the payment will be behind with you and you are just getting a message, 5,000 rupees deducted from your account from the local booking in Delhi. This happens late today. Maybe a genuine transaction, but tomorrow, because agent API has the permission misused. That is very similar, sir. I'm just telling you. आपको से कितने लोगों के पास ऐसा है कि गाड़ी घर पे खड़ी हुई फास्टैग से पैसे कट गए हुआ है ऐसा हुआ है ना सुना है तो बस गाड़ी घर पे खड़ी हुई फास्टैग से पैसे कट गए because once you are moving towards a toll bridge it takes the data of your fastag and there are some anonymous user can pick up fastag to give the payment direction में आप प्रूव करते हैं या क्रिकेट सेल करते हैं तो नहीं फास्टैग से फंड्स कट गया और तो इट इज नॉट रनिंग ऑन द नॉट फॉर दैट कम अगर आपने 100, 500 people, 25 rupees का transaction because that is the maximum amount of money your Fastag might be having. And bank account details are having 200 rupees, sir. It is having a lot of credentials also. So if Fastag से पैसा कट सकता है जिसमें human involvement नहीं रहता है, लेकिन भी ये अगर ये कुछ काम करा तो you should be more curious and more concerned about it. Because your credentials are already being shared and now you do not know whether to delete and how to delete. So the right option is C, not B. You cannot ask AI to promise you to delete it. You should stop. You should not do all these things with an agent API. You should verify, and that is why there is a word which needs to be a part of your working domain, human in loop. Humans will always be there in loop. 100% automation is it is doing this. Because the worst thing when started working wrong because it doesn't know kahan se kya ho raha hai. And if some hacking and data breaches happens, it becomes nightmare for you because you are unaware about all these pathways to catch out of that. So you should act as a custodian of digital trust. That is what my point is. Rather than jumping into automation immediately, you should talk about trust. And why? Because your traditional marketing is more of verifying things on a keen eye personally. Whereas today with the help of AI, you are actually not doing that. So my take is not you should move to the previous way of working. No, you should adopt technology. But adoption should be done with a trust. And what needs to be done? There is four quadrants for that. Now let me just give you a four quadrant definition. Can you see the diagram up there? Is it visible? Is it visible or not? Or should I zoom it? Visible? Fine. So quadrant one is agent authority. This defines what the agent is permitted to do. Use maker checker design, traditional sealing, textual limits has to be there. If you are connecting to agent API also, you should ensure that your agent API platform should not be able to make a payment more than 1,000 rupees. That is again you can do because you have no permission. So if you want to do that, you can do that. The limit is very much important to make sure that fraud should not happen to an infinite extent. The third vendor is limited restriction. This is what the quadrant one talks about. Quadrant two, which talks about data defense, is related to what data is to be processed by agent API. Establish the client data air log. How many of you know what the word air log means? What do you mean by air log? घर में अगर कोई चीज बारिश के मौसम में बचा के रखनी होती है सीलन से तो आप क्या करते हो उसको एयर टाइट बॉक्स में रखते हो so that it is not getting exposed. That is not air lock. Air lock means your data should only be used for a specific purpose under your permission. It should not be exposed in any manner. within your ecosystem also. Leave the outside ecosystem out. Within your ecosystem, that is only their working. So all data must be aligned, data must be sanitized before input. You should minimize fields. And this is again related to one of the compliance declaration which comes up in DPDP Act also. That is called data minimization. इतना ही मांगो जितना चाहिए. Ask the data from your client and from your own office, which is needed for the purpose to execute. Don't go even 0.01% higher to that. That is called data minimization. So make sure you are minimizing the field, you are connecting with synchronization, and you are putting up a plan which is proved manually by you, not automatically executed by tools. Guideline 2 talks about stress testing. That means your agent, before getting into permanent or you can say applying these agility workflows into your process, stress test them. Test with dummy data. Test with financial data, whether they are picking or not, whether they are refusing or not, and where they are boosting that particular data. And there has to be a kill switch, which is very important. When you see there is an automatic kill switch, you know what is kill switch? This is supreme power what a human has. Supreme power. I'll tell you an example for that. You look forward when you go back home, you look forward for a news, which was of 31st of December 2019. रात को 11 बजे. After 11 p.m. on 31st of December 2019, there was an incident which has happened in the Facebook headquarters, wherein two AI-based servers of Meta started communicating with each other, and what they are communicating, even the developers of their servers are not able to interpret it. वो सर्वर के बनाने वालों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था ये दोनों सर्वर आपस में क्या बात कर रहे हैं. So it may be good for humans, it may be good for us as well, but it may be bad also. क्या करना चाहिए ऐसी सिचुएशन? हाँ करेक्ट सर. हमारे पास सुप्रीम पावर है बटन बंद करने की. So you should always have a kill switch. Kill switch means as soon as you press that particular kill switch or activate that action, the ACTK should start working from that point of time. Because if kill switch is not there and if something started going wrong, it will keep on going wrong because that is not your capacity. So kill switch has to be there. Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. So even the largest of the organizations who are developing these kind of tools are now worried about the malfunction which are being executed by the agent vigilators. So obviously, you have to be slightly more courage because you are right that giant solution. You are right. For you, kill switch has to be there. That means a button, some sort of command, or some sort of execution which can actually immediately stop the agent to start functioning. And fourth platform for which chartered accountants are by default having DNO, that is known as governance. You are having a governance DNA, but you are not using it. I don't know why. When it comes to AI and technology, you directly jump up without considering the governance aspects into play. How many of you actually build up an AI policy or AI usage policy in your office? Nobody. When you are assisting your client after too much of hands-on technology, that this can be automated, I can do that for you. This can be automated, I can do that for you in your own office. Are you talking about governance, making up the policies and making up these policies aligned to the compliance requirements and compliance available in that particular industry? Are you doing that? If not, then it is jumping up into the pool without knowing how to swim. So objective is not AI is harmful or AI is harmless. It is a tool which needs to be intelligently used because we are not dumb professionals. You all are intelligent, aware professionals. And I should praise you all that you are the only community in the country which is continuously upgrading multiple workshops, sessions, and certifications organized by multiple branches and instituted by default. You are most aware as compared to lawyers and doctors or engineers in the country that you are not aware about security aspects of it. That's a concern. Maximum sessions of yours are being talking about how to implement rather than talking about what is the right way for implementation. So you should ask these questions before coming up, and you should ask these questions for yourself also before jumping into quick technological implementation. So that's the reason I put this line. There has to be a segregation. Segregation, that maker checker. The permanent segregation line needs to be done till what AI will be involved, and after that, human involvement is must. You can execute a technological process under your vigilance, but automated execution should not happen. So permanent line needs to be drawn, and this line is varying for different industries. Mark my words, this is your role to draw this line. And this is the line of governance. Limiting petty cash, limiting daily actions, limiting vendor list, limiting geographical restrictions, whatever. That is your point of view. I'm not here to tell you that. I am here to tell you that this is a line which needs to be drawn by you on the basis of governance and compliance as you are well aware of. And anything which is going into agentic AI model should be filtered with multiple layers. And one of these layers should be involving humans. You should not have 100% automation execution in place. So filter one talks about malware scanning, ensuring sensitive data detection is happening. Filter two talks about identification quantum, which is like PAN, Aadhaar, account number, direct hona hi hona chahiye before getting into AI. Another thing talks about metadata removal, that means the source of the data should be removed on the immediate basis. Point number four, that is called organization. That means entire credentials of privacy should be converted into a people and that people should be uniquely processed. So that means the people have been processed because their actual data have been exposed. Point number five is to prove the process on it has to be approved process of logging and tagging. And this approval means human involvement. This is the where last layer where human involvement is met. And when this has been approved by you, then only the data should go into the AI model for the purpose of processing. If you are fulfilling these ways in which the filtering should go on, you are actually establishing a governance foundation. And there should be a systematic way for implementing governance. I've created from my own knowledge that governance cannot be done overnightly. So I've created a 50 days and 90 days roadmap for you. In which what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, has to be decided. So first thing is that create AI tool inventory. हमारे ऑफिस में कौन से AI tools या processes automation का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है and whether those AI tools are falling into three categories. Red means danger zone, green means safe zone, and orange means a moderate zone. The red zone needs to be slightly more monitored by you. The green zone can be executed. So if you have not done it, आपको सबको ही नहीं पता आज कि आपके ऑफिस के अंदर कितने AI tools का इस्तेमाल हो रहा है. Strictly prohibited red data and public AI platform, which is very obvious. Mandate pass keys. How many of you are aware about what is pass keys? Just few of you. Most of you are still relying on passwords. Password is old. Putting a password is now going to be history in times to come when quantum AI is going to take a leap. Even your 20, 50 character password can be broken down in less than 1 second with quantum computing coming up. And quantum computing is just like there. Engineers have already been taught quantum computing in engineering, and most of our AI platforms today are being supported by quantum computing by default. That means start moving from password to pass keys. And pass keys are more authentication mechanism because that needs human involvement by default. Password can be automatically saved in your systems, yes or no? Can you save your fingerprint? Can you save your images, photographs, your facial recognitions? No. That means pass keys needs human involvement, and that is what is making agentic AI slightly controlled under your permission. So mandate with pass keys and remove passwords. And prepare a control mechanism, which we are going to discuss immediately afterwards. Many of you are aware that today there is a restriction on you all to report any cyber incident said to a particular authority in a particular timeline. पता है किसी को? पहले पता है? आपको 6 घंटे में मैं सिंपल हिंदी शब्दों का इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ, सिर्फ 6 घंटे के अंदर किसी भी साइबर इंसिडेंट को आपको इन्फॉर्म करना है, रिपोर्ट नहीं करना है. रिपोर्ट के टाइम ले सकते हो. Any cyber incidents, cyber attacks, cyber fraud, data breaches happen to you must be reported to CERT in within 6 hours. अगर 6 घंटे में रिपोर्टिंग नहीं हो रहा है तो पहले तो आप खुद फंस गए. That means you are trying to hide a crime which has happened. You are trying to hide the data breach which has happened because of your security issues. 6 घंटे में रिपोर्ट होना ही 6 घंटे में इंफॉर्म होना ही होना है. रिपोर्ट के लिए आप टाइम मांग सकते हो. That is from certain point of view. और डीपीडीपी में ये साफ बोला हुआ है कि आपके पास अगर 50 क्लाइंट का डेटा है और आपके सिस्टम का डेटा ब्रीच हुआ है तो 50 के 50 क्लाइंट इमीडिएटली इन्फॉर्म होना है कि डेटा है फाइन. although you have taken the due care and necessary controls in your system, the data got breached out. You have to inform to your data principals and your client immediately, even if timeline is given. So that means you cannot write today. Because if you are writing, you are coming up with the wrong confidential domain. Your office and your client can be taken into account because you have not informed them appropriately. And nothing else. DPDP talks about if you are not informing to the respective individuals in the timeline, the penalty could lead to 50 crores. Total worth may not be 50 crore, but the penalty can go to 50 crore. That means the right time reporting of incident is very much critical to do. This is what to be done in first 50 days. And if you talk about next, let's focus on that. Establish an AI acceptable use policy. जो अभी तक किसी ने नहीं बनाई है. Acceptable use policy, which AI to be used and within what domain area to be used. Beyond the domain, no, we are not interested to AI use. Human involvement in reported. Classify your data documentations. What can go to AI, what should not go to AI. Make sure you are conducting a breach preventive exercises to make sure that if anything goes wrong, your system is recoverable. Now you having a predefined mechanism to restore the working operation on fastest basis. And now defining where human reviews threshold. Make sure human review has to be integrated. So if these kind of mechanisms are by default built up on you, you are on a safe zone side. Very much safe zone. But if not, jumping into AI is the worst thing which can happen to you in times to come. Right? My small question. What should be done? You should have a fill switch. Right? So it's not like AI IT team has configured and on the basis of your instruction, they have built up the entire automation mechanism for sending on emails, and there is no kill switch available to stop that entire processing on an immediate basis. So you should have a kill switch. And this terminology should be a part of your processing from now onwards. Air gap, kill switch, all these things. Right? So in times to come, now if we talk about the roadmap from now onward, that is 2026 to 2051, that a pathway a chartered accountant or a financial professional should follow to make sure you are into a safe automation zone. It is this particular year should be a compliance construction phase. Build up your policies. Make sure you are aware about all laws, regulations which are applicable within the domain you are working and you are making a compliance process. Then comes 2028 to 29, make sure your agentic workflows, which is going to happen. 20% by 2028, 29, you are going to have multiple agents installed in your own office who are doing tasks which earlier used to be done by humans or your articles or your staff, clerical staffs. You will for sure deploy agentic AIs. Because the accuracy of agentic AI plus their reliability is much more than human, but the security is lesser than humans. So you are for sure going to jump into this. So my point of view, you should have a control mechanism moving place and make sure your algorithm should be tested by you rather than just looking forward for input and output. Algorithm testing algorithm assurance phase is what 2030 and 31 should be. Because next 5 years down the line, office will get completely automated. Your production, your client process is going to get completely automated. And that is kind of a distant story. We are not going to see that. So there has to be a systematic mechanism for you to jump up from this. And why? Because I have already told you there is a quickly. So 6 hours already there. When DPDP I have already discussed with you, it is immediate basis. Yes, sir. Correct. So as soon as you are aware, you should be reporting that, sir. It should not like 12:30, you have to be awake enough. And my point is that when it is not your bank account, the bank is primarily responsible, not the individual like you. Bank is responsible to inform. Because you as a client has trusted the bank and bank system is being that is not your system. So liability comes from bank. So DPDP Act talks about the liability on data fiduciaries, not on data principal. You are data principal. The data belongs to you. You have trusted some sort of companies, banks, financial institutions before giving the data to them, so they are responsible to inform. It's not you. So liability is on everyone. You can claim while you are not reporting. Because for a bank, 27, 24/7 monitoring is mandatory by RBI. RBI talks about whether the new AI guideline which is released, real-time reporting rather than 6 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours delayed reporting. Real time has to be there. So you might be sleeping, but the banking systems and the real-time mechanism is not sleeping. So they have to report on the immediate basis. So if you get the program in the morning, you should be first going to bank, report the bank that bank has not reported on the timeline to the authorities, you are still safe. Yes, sir. Can you give the mic?
So, good morning. Hello. So you spoke about the kill switch, right? Now I give an instance, right, when in I think 6 7 months before, when a virtual tester was testing Anthropic Claude, right? And when it got a mail, right? If you switch me off, I'll send a mail to your boss about the affair of your wife. Okay. Now, so this AI is becoming so intelligent enough, right? So once you try to kill switch them, right? You have to just kill them, switch it off. It can bring your system down. It's the way it is becoming intelligent. So what do you need to do in that case? How will you do that?
Correct. So those kind of communication which are coming directly from artificial intelligence and you are aware of it. You have already trained your systems and you have make your staff aware that we have created an AI algorithm or an AI agent which is going to send certain communication mails. Now, if you have stopped it, AI started sending offensive mails to the staff and your senior authorities and all, the cross verification mechanism should be built up. And that is what the governance
Yeah,
compliance
it can bring your whole system down, right? Because you switched it.
this kind of power has given, sir. We have given when we have studied it.
Yeah, yeah. See, the reason is AI itself is becoming so powerful, right? So basically it can supersede whatever the authority power you have.
So that's the reason kill switch is important, sir. When you are stopping it, make sure it is stopping from 0 to infinite. It's not partial stoppage.
Ultimate kill, that is the power off. Then again we restart it. The program will restart, right? So the kill switch, if it doesn't work in the first,
Sir, when you have restarted the program, you should make sure that primarily it has to be disconnected from the network first, disconnected from the data first, and then you have to open it up for the purpose of
basically check the algorithm and
right.
right.
Check the algorithm, check the networking connection, check the pathways they are having, check the data permissions they are having. We disconnect them and then go for new opening and maybe rectifying the issue.
One small question. In IEEE, is there any division right now working on the security of agentic AI?
So from which perspective?
I mean, building what steps to be followed, what security mechanism to be done.
Sir, when it comes to security, depending on the compliance authority and body under which you are working, you have to follow that. So if you are working on MSME platforms, so there are MSME guidelines. RBI has RBI, SEBI has their own guidelines. So from technology point of view, there is some sort of AI governance which has to be done. Some sort of data privacy norms which are by default there. So if you're looking for, most of the organizations are actually looking for ISO 27001, right, or process frameworks for data security and compliances. So that has to be done. Although even if all this happening, because the curiosity and intention to develop much faster, not tools is much, so it's a rat race. And in the rat race, the ultimate winner are individuals. Companies are jumping into technology is individual who is without worrying about the data privacy, without worrying about the security, is jumping into using the technology. So vulnerability is at our end, not at their end. That becomes a platform for us. So today we are having AI agents who are actually monitoring our meeting and taking the notes. Right? Yes. 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 And most of us, when you use some sort of AI assistant to assist in our meetings and all, how many of you have read the privacy policy of these assistants before allowing them to enter into your meeting? And that meeting is a very intellectual meeting which is happening in maybe PNB website to bank model. So that means if it is coming up from the company side, sir, you are minded to follow. But when coming to your own office automation, you are opening up your doors for everyone. Right, so even I used some of the tools, but after reading the privacy policy. I've stopped using that, sir. Because we're free users, because most of us do not pay to use multiple AI tools. Yes or no? We are using them freely. And even they are asking, ये वाला paid AI है तो दूसरा किसी मिलेगा तो बता देना. That means you are never ever worried about jumping to an AI tool without concerning that why the rate paid and why it is still free. But if not is free, everybody knows the customer is our data. Right? Anything to concern, sir? Just like the high because पृथ्वी भाग गया है तो इसने मेरे को पहले बोला सर मेरे आने के बाद आपको 5 मिनट मिलेंगे बस. Right. Anyway, how many of you are aware about multiple regulatory landscape which has come up, including DPDP, to certain guidelines, to RBI IT governance, to SEBI, to IRDA InfoSec, and now let me tell you, last year, 1st of November, AI guidelines are also released by Government of India, which is again going to be gradually converted into an act. And Government of India has already started developing an act, which is a Digital India Act, which is going to surpass current information technology act. Now, IT Act was very good when it was drafted in 2000, but now after 26 years, it's almost still done. So you need something else. So in 2023 itself, Government of India has already started the process of, they have initiated the discussion on Digital India Act. And Digital India Act is going to talk about AI, blockchain technology, and other technology also as a whole something. And today, which supported by DPDP is going to be the most robust ecosystem to work on. My point is that you should start studying into that because when you are jumping into technological services, you need to know about technological compliances as well. Right. And for this, make sure that you are not talking about shadow AI environment. Shadow AI has two definitions. One is when AI tools are being used in your office without you knowing which AI is being used by your staff. That is shadow AI. That is one definition. आपको ही पता नहीं आपके ऑफिस में कितने AI tools use हो रहे हैं. Are you aware of it? Second, when you are using one major AI tool which is being supported by multiple other AI tools, you are not aware of them because you are only interacting with one tools and the AI tools are being completely hidden by you. So all these two parameters which is making you only see to an extent beyond that you are not vision, then that can create challenges for you. You should be aware of that as well. So when you are using a tool, make sure you understand which particular tool is being working at the back end of this. Right, so clear evidence chain has to be there because if this chain is there, the evidences are visible to you. So then not the evidence is something possible. So for you, data capability, exit mechanism, these are the areas to concern on. You have to talk about capability, exit mechanisms, human access plan, frequency reports. So if you are aware of few of these things or maybe few more, which are making you talk about all critical areas before jumping. So encryption, boosting, deletion, so when the deletion has to happen, it has to happen from all locations. Data retention to what you have to retain in what format you have to retain and where you can retain it on. All these things are prescribed by multiple authorities. We are just messing them up. So my point is that when you are next time using AI, make sure these 12 things which are there displayed up there must be concerned and a point of discussion with you before moving immediately. And why it is so? Because by default, chartered accountant is entering into technological domain now. Industry is fintech and CA has gone fintech. You know finance, but you are superficially knowing technology. You know the details of finance, but technology is superficially known to you. This is what is challenging for me. Which you have not changing. And this is the work you have done in the past till 2020. And this is the role now you have to do in 2021 till the time you are there professionally active. Right? You can just go through it. This is very, very simple and very obvious. Any concern, please put a question. Any point which is not clear to you. Pardon, sir. Sir, what is the mechanism of reporting? Manual, documented, or digital? Correct, sir. Fine. So this is that
Phone has been cloned. Yes. So if the phone has been cloned, what is to be done? Change the phone?
No, sir, my question, when your phone is cloned, it is the entire data in the phone which has been captured. It is not phone which is there in their custody. Device is still in your hand, but entire working mechanism under it is being taken by someone. This can only happen when you have clicked a certain link which gives them the permission to clone your data.
Yeah.
That means anonymous communication which is coming from random sources like emails, WhatsApp messages, or any other SMS and all, which force you to click something. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Because when done it, if your phone is being cloned, you cannot do anything because indirectly it is you who has given them the permission, sir.
Yes.
So bank cannot do anything. You are reporting something here, but consecutively the transactions will be happening. That means bank keep the bank channel. Blame back on you. That's where the permission has been stop. That means you have signed up a check with bank and somebody is encashing it with 1 crore rupees. That means you have signed the check. So bank and you have to have some sort of responsibility dividation. Bank will take the responsibility if they are falling into their domain. But the client themselves are permitted. So I always request that rather than putting up controls like preventive, detective, and corrective controls, the more important control is informative control. Before jumping into technology and payment gateways integrated arrangement, this would be what is the right mechanism to use. Right now, if I can put in a global level customer which can be online, I do not allow my parents' phone to be there in banking. No mobile applications and no payment gateway applications on their phone. You have to make a payment, send it to me, I'll make the payment. Because I know their device become vulnerable and I do not understand what to click and what not to click. Right? But ऐसा फ्लड मेरे घर में हो चुका है. My own wife's phone has been owned almost and 25,000 rupees has been taken away from her. So मैं किसी को क्यों नहीं दिखाऊंगा? मेरे घर के अंदर कमरा हो गया. So still I stop doing things. So the best way is still which you put on the process, stop let me do the things. So that blame comes on me. But credit to नहीं देता था, blame फेंक देते हैं.
But changing the phone will not.
Yes, sir, changing the phone when you happen because the data is given. Phone calling does not mean your hardware dependency. Phone calling means your mobile number and your data has been taken over by them.
Yes, but the mobile number, if you change the mobile number,
Yeah, that can happen. If you change your mobile number in the banking system automatically, so changing your phone number option, your bank is connected to the mobile.
yes.
So you have to go to the bank and change the mobile number. If your new mobile number will come up, every OTP and every authentication which is coming to every mobile to you, from the now goes for a useless communication.
Understood.
So you have to change the rather than changing the hardware. Because hardware is not sir.
Yeah, I can add to this because I also faced this last year, almost 1.5 years back. So, sir, what I did is I went to the store, the Vodafone store. I asked them to provide me another chip with the same number. So that also helped me clone.
This can also help because still cloning is already being done. Alright, so the best way is to change the number. And if you're changing the number, make sure you are disconnecting the old number which is like financial means banking and saving. I still share market and bank. These are the two areas where your mobile number cleaning can result in the financial fraud against you. So make sure that immediately as soon as it happens, you inform your customer care or your banker and personal advisor. Please stop my transactions with the payment and I instruct you. So that means your action has not been taken. The information goes through, the action has not been taken. So that is their problem. That my point is that who is here or कौन था? नुकसान किसका हुआ? So we have to keep on banging on the right to stop the transaction. See, if you have jumped up into technology, we have to have some sort of rules in our own home as well. This needs to be done. So that's what I can have to do. Although it may be weird, and I'll put it on the session immediately afterwards. Which is a very smallest thing to consider. They are very good or very important things. You all are aware about digital arrest. When an individual is trying to digital arrest you, what they do? Actually, connect your profile. I'll put a scenario for you, and which has actually happened in my own family. And that I have created this self improvement. My brother-in-law, my GRG, has been digitally arrested. Right? And he was going into bank for 50 lakh FD resolution so that he can pay the data arrest fund and get that thing out. And what was the thing? This time he was being modified in such a manner that your son, who is studying at some place, is in my custody. The knowledge of the son is being what the phone call. It's like a शूट और किडनैपिंग, राइट? उसी की आवाज सुनी, टेंशन में हो गए, इट वाज स्लाइटली बीइंग प्रेशराइज्ड on him, and without informing anyone in the house, he went directly to the bank for getting things done. My point is that if you could have created a code word, mark my words, a small code word, that is, if my son is detailing arrest, if my family member is being into some sort of problem statement, this is the code word which only we four people knows. ये बचपन में वो मूवी में देखते थे लाल गुलाब काला पत्थर, ऐसा कोई कोड वर्ड बना लो अपनी फैमिली में, then only four family members should be aware of it. जब तक वो कोड वर्ड नहीं आएगा, that means the person who is speaking is not the right one. Is it fake and individual who is being trying to modify it? When that code word comes to yes, yes, it is been authenticated, officially approved that the person is my family member. So create this kind of within your family, don't explain this to anyone else, and make sure whenever somebody is in problem, in wherever it is, this forward is actually an authentication that yes, it is a genuine family person in problem. Thereafter, the communication becomes sensible, otherwise it is 100% fake, illegitimate communication to happen. These kind of things are actually small steps. These are not beginning controls, but these can help you away, keep away from data frauds. Right? So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Organization in the future.
Is organization?
Tokenization.
Tokenization. Sir, tokenization is one of the countries we have actually moved from single sector to multi-factor authentication. Tokenization is one of the controls should not be taken as the ultimate thing. One of the controls of the authentication mechanism. It does not expose that the tokenization can be smooth, right, or wrong. So multi-factor is very important. Do it on one single sector authentication. Right? Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir, for such a wonderful deliberation. We started with that what control needs to be taken in place to secure this AI ecosystem. And sir has started with a very basic level of WhatsApp message exchange. And then he has linked those intelligence and authority. And also he has discussed about the AI responsibility, AI opportunity. And sir has not only discussed this, he has gone on to discuss so many things which I would like to highlight that in the last 60 minutes, we managed to discuss that not only automation is required, but the safe and secure way of automation is required. And also, sir has shared a deep fake video of Mr. Narayan Murthy, sir, just to make us aware that what a deep fake video mean and what it can do. And also, sir has highlighted one of the very key aspect that not everyone use the technology for the constructive purpose. Some of them use it for the destructive purpose, and we have to be careful about that particular thing. And he has also discussed about the automation versus agentic AI. So he mentioned categorically that we first should look out for the security before going into the AI implementation. And to make things simple, he has discussed those four quadrant control architecture where he has categorically highlighted one of the very important aspect and key takeaways of the session about tool switch. Also, he has discussed the data sanitization and 6R clause and the guidelines, those are applicable to chartered accountant. And also, he has discussed about and make us aware about with his very beautiful example, explanation, and some personal suffering also that has happened with his family about the phone cloning and digital arrest. Sir, I was also with, I was attending the AI summit like couple of weeks back at Delhi. One of the cabinet minister was there, and he said a very important thing that we were having a meeting and honorable prime minister said कि देखिए मेरा अगर आपको आपके मोबाइल पे फोन आता है और कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट इशू मुझे डिस्कस करना है और मैं आपको इंस्ट्रक्ट करता हूँ कि ये हमको करना है, आप क्या करेंगे? वो बोले कि सर आपके आदेश पे हमको वो पालन करना पड़ेगा, डेफिनेटली आपके विजन के हिसाब से हमको चलना पड़ेगा, तो वो हम पालन करेंगे। he said कि वो आपको नहीं करना है, क्योंकि मेरा फोन अगर आपके मोबाइल पे आता है तो वो आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि मैं ही फोन करता हूँ, कोई दूसरा बंदा भी फोन so we all as professional also need to understand this particular thing. And once again, thank you very much, sir, for explaining this very complex concept so beautifully. And I think he deserves a huge round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. And that concludes our session for the day. Thank you very much.
Friends, we had a very lively and interactive session and upgrading session. And after that session, we are starting another session. And in that session, the speaker, learned speaker, will be telling us how CS can hold a live financial brain for MSME. And friends, before calling the speaker to the dais, after listening Dr. Saurabh Maheshwari, may I take a courage for just a 2-minute exercise from all of you. I request all of you to please take out your mobile in your hand. Open your contact list. Contact. All done? So just check yourself that in which bank your bank account is. Say State Bank of India, or say Canada Bank, or say HDFC Bank. Isn't it? So second step is check on your mobile whether there is emergency contact number of that bank is there in your phone, or there is a toll-free number 24-hour open, as sir has told. Is that saved in your phone? Please check it. How many of you have saved that number? 3 out of 4 out of the whole audience. Right. So what we are supposed to do right now and today itself, that just check how many bank accounts you are have, from which banks, and what are the emergency contact number of that bank or a toll free number of that bank, and whether that number is saved in your mobile or not. Because these incidents happen, say, around midnight, and there is a logic behind that midnight also. There is a transaction limit per day. Say per day, anyone can hack, suppose 40,000 or 50,000. After that, digital transaction cannot take place. So they do it in such a fashion that at 11:55 or 11:58 in the midnight, they take out a first part of that is say 40,000, 50,000 in first snag. And immediately after that, 2-3 minutes, the next day starts. And at that moment of time, they take out the another tranche of money. So this sort of frauds are also happening. And at that time, you don't have anything to do. You cannot go to the bank. Even if your relationship with your manager is good enough, your bank manager will not pick up the phone. You may not take a courage to go to the police station. You may not have any other way out. But certainly, if these emergency number or toll free number are saved in your mobile, you can immediately contact them and inform about the incidents, and to some extent that can work for your kill switch, which sir has rightly told. So I hope this information will be helpful to you, provided you take this uh, information in your action. Thank you, friends. Friends, we are moving to technical session 5, and for that we have Mr. Sumit Agarwal.
So let us welcome CA Sumit Agarwal on the dais. Mr. Sumit Agarwal is founder of Vyapar, one of the India's leading business accounting and billing platform trusted by more than 1.5 crore MSMEs across the country. With a strong vision to simplify business operations for small and medium enterprises, he has been working at the intersection of technology, finance, and MSME growth. Through his journey, through his journey with Vyapa and the acquisition of Tax One, he is now also closely connected with the CA ecosystem, helping professionals move beyond compliance towards automation, advisory, and smarter client servicing. Today, he will share his perspective on how AI can help chartered accountants build the future financial operating system from MSME. And now I take a pleasure for welcoming and uh, felicitating him. Sumitji, now the podium is yours. Please take up.
Thank you. Thank you, ACI, for inviting me here. My today's discussion will be very different from what you heard just now. One thing I want to call out that Dr. Saurabh mentioned that by 28, 29, right, most of us will be using AI agents for at least one of our work that we are doing. With that note, let me start with what is the main focus that I will have in our session today. Uh, we all work with MSMEs, right? And we have seen that all of us have been working with a mindset of compliance. Today, in this topic, I will talk about how we can shift our mindset from only focusing on compliance and moving towards thinking about how we can become CFO counterpart for MSMEs. So today I'll talk about how CAs can become a life financial brain for every business owner. Let's look at some numbers, right? 32% of our GDP is contributed by MSMEs. And MSMEs employ around 39 crore people in the country. It's huge. It's very large, right? But what is the reality? MSMEs have that is the most fragmented and underserved segment. They are most away from the technology, except WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook. Software wise, they are too far away. Their financial data is very unstructured, right? So there is a lot of opportunity for us. And on the other hand, as CAs, right? We have each and every of these SMS or MSMEs sitting in our client list, right? The opportunity is we look at the data as a CA, how is very, very different from what an MSME does. This gives us a lot of interesting thoughts around what we can contribute and help them grow. So let's talk about some of the blind spots, right? MSMEs, when they are working in the environment, their blind spot is pricing. When I say pricing, it basically means for them deciding what is my margin, how much margin I can get on a product, right? How much I should store in my inventory, etc. Right? There are a lot of challenges that they face which they don't have visibility. Similarly, inventory. When I'm investing in inventory, how much time will I recover, etc. Right? There are a lot of confusion that can happen, which is blind spots for them. Tax liability. There is again a surprise season at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter. They are not aware real time what I'm accumulating. And credit is something that everybody struggles with, and very few of them get it. In our country, less than 4 5% of MSMEs are actually eligible for any official credit. let's look at the shift, what we are doing today and what is the opportunity and where we can go to in future. Present CA. Present CA is a more of a compiler or a compliance officer for a business, accumulating all the data from the past, working on it, and then taking the reactive action of doing compliance, filing returns, doing income tax, right, etc. And then for monetization, we have one opportunity which is charging the MSMEs based on the compliance that we do, right? What is the future that we are looking at? The future is, since we all understand that AI is the reality, like there was computers is the reality, internet is the reality, mobile phones is the reality. Now AI is the reality that will get adapted in every individual's life. Looking at AI, what AI can do, we all know that a lot of the compliance work we will have the opportunity to automate. Then what we can evolve into, our evolution will become into the CFOs, not CFO counterpart for MSMEs. That is the target that we should affect going forward in the next 4 5 years. Here we will have the opportunity to be the proactive counterpart, giving advices instead of doing the later part of the compliance piece, right? And this also gives us the opportunity to uh, charge them or monetize our effort by giving those advices, which will not only help them in their business. This is very simple. It's a 5 step process that I will talk about, which you can use to monetize and to automate the compliances plus evolve yourself into a CFO role. The first step would be digitize. I will take you each step in more detail in the coming slides. Digitize the MSMEs. I think that is the biggest challenge we all face. Digitizing the MSME is the first step because that will help you to get the data of what they are actually doing. Connect. Here, when I talk about connect, it is not only the connect to the financial data that the business is doing, which is transactional, but also financial data of the business that we will talk about in the upcoming slides. Building AI agents. AI agents doing all the automation part and giving you insights from the business data. Building dashboards on top of it, and then moving to the advisory and the charging the client according to that. Let's start with the step one. Step one talks about digitizing the MSMEs. So first we have to set the data foundation. When I say data foundation, if the business is using paper pen to manage their transaction records, then anyway we will always be in the back foot because the dependency on giving the data to come up, right? First point is digitizing the MSME so that they start using any softwares like Power, QuickBooks, or any software which can help them to have their records, transaction records in a digital format. So this giving you include your daily sales purchase, bank statements, GST, inventory status, all of this has to come to you as real time as possible. Next is connecting the data. Now, here when I talk about connection, the connection is not only about getting the data what they are doing in the transactional format. It is also about getting the data with their financial status, which is their bank data, their investments, their credit score, etc. Right? So getting all that information in one place and creating that infrastructure for you, where you have the access of all the business data, which where you want to advise them. Now, third step would be creating the AI agents on top of it. When I talk about AI agents, there can be two kinds of AI agents. One is autonomous, right? Autonomous means that AI agent can do one thing at a time. For example, if assuming all this data is there with you, the AI agent can call out very explicitly that there is debt inventory increasing, or there is a sort of cash flow, or there is more receivables than usual. All these nitty-gritties that is very, very difficult for a business owner to do himself. These agents that you build on top of their data can be used to advise them at the real time. And this cannot be afterthought. This has to be as real time as possible. second category of AI agents that we can build, that is building the infrastructure of multiple AI agents which are orchestrated together to do a certain purpose, right? In these cases, the AI agents are capable of answering any question in simple text format. Now let's look at the architecture. How does it look? I give you these are examples. That's not the complete flow. For example, cash flow agent. You can build a cash flow agent which keeps monitoring the cash flow of the business, right? Working capital agent, which can help from the simulation of whatever working capital the MSME has, what is there in the bank account, how much is logged in as per the bank entry, what is there in the receivable, etc. Right? Exploration. How much tax they have accumulated so far? What tax has to be paid? Right? What is the liability from the past? What are the ITCs pending? Etc. Right? So all these can be done by this tax agent. Trade readiness. There is another category piece that most of the MSMEs don't have visibility. When the bank is bank or any unorganized and we see for loan, most of them get rejected. And one of the major reasons is MSME does not know what should I improve, what should I do better to actually get fix my credit score. And what on what basis am I being judged to actually when I'm getting the credit, right? So all these activities can this analysis can be done by the credit agent and they can give actionable insights that what needs to be done. And that is the examples of the next slide, right? And then talk about the scenario or simulator agent. What if scenarios, right? If they can ask questions. If I take a loan of 11 lakhs for 0.3% interest, what is the possibility that I will be able to pay back? So all those kind of simulation can be done through these AI agents. Let me take some examples with how it can help. Personal agents, all right? An example, very simple example. If there is 18 lakhs in the account, 10 lakhs with an AI, right, which is due to be received in 10 days, and 9 lakhs is an AP that I have to in 311 TDS, right? Then getting the cash flow indicator automatically is an important factor because nobody does that today. Considering all these factors in figuring out what is my state as a business, right? So this is an example of how cash flow agent can help. Similarly, working capital. Very simple thing. If, let's say, as a business, I invest 1 rupee on my inventory. How much time will it take for me to recover? Right? Nobody calculates that. Now, this kind of a capital agent can help that. I can track the trends of a day's sales outstanding, then day based purchase outstanding, day based inventory outstanding, which is there in my scheme, and then calculate exactly what is my cash conversion cycle. That is, what if I invest 100 rupees on my inventory today, then how much time will I get that cost back? So these kind of critical and deep analysis can be done through the AI agents very easily. Tax provision agent. I think you get a sense of what I'm talking about, right? Trade readiness. There's another big area where the AI agents can help a lot. As of today, when a bank or a NBFC measures the credibility or the trade readiness of a MSME, then there are many factors, right? And these factors are not known by anybody else. But these kind of analysis where you can DSCR is less than 120 or less than 1, then you are not capable. That information is how to fix it. Right? How do you, what inventory you should have, what inventory you can store for a certain amount of time, but can help you increase your credit score. These kind of suggestions can come from this AI agents and can help the MSME to actually go for a loan, right? So I'll give you some examples. Um, where AI agents can help and actually orchestrate this layer together, it can become a powerhouse with how we can CA contribute to the life of MSMEs. And these things they cannot do. I mean, we will have to help them. They are really the most educated, most intelligent community in this country who is connected with MSMEs. So, coming to the success point, right? So, today the conversation is more towards we need to file the return. So, I need a data. From that conversation, how do we move to the conversation of let me let's discuss how we can grow our business. Once we move from that conversation to the CFO conversation, the game changes completely. Not only for you, but as well for the MSMEs who are dependent on you for everything. And of course, nothing is for free, right? When we are contributing their pay cards, if let's say we are charging 3,000 to 6,000 for an MSME, and MSME for a particular service, this gives us the opportunity to bring compensation from the same check, from the same service. It's value addition. Two ways value addition, right? So same clients, same team, the value increases for both the partners. So I'll leave you with that statement. The CEO of the future not only has a business owners, but requires for tax compliance. They give them a mirror with the proven business and a simulator for the future. The mirror is the MSME CFO, and CAs are the best positioned to build it. Thank you. Any questions? I've taken very much time. So my next presenter can spend more time here. Please.
That's Thank you so much for the presentation. It's exactly in line with what we should be working on. The question is, do we have such a tool which can be orchestrated? Is that ready-made available, or does it need a lot of integrations with their existing accounting system like Tally, etc.? How does that come about? Has there any thought been given to that?
The reality is that these tools are being experimented and being built within different companies. The challenge today lies in the step one, which is the digitization of the MSME itself, right? I think that is the first step that we have to start working on today. The next step would be connected, right? So second step is already being in works, right? For example, there is a thing aggregator through which we can pull the data of MSMEs or anyone. And there are mechanisms in account aggregator. I'm not sure if you are aware. An MSME can give the access of their account of their data to anyone at will. It's not only the financial companies can pull it, even a CA can pull account the data of an MSME through account aggregator. And when you pull the data through account aggregator, the data includes their bank statements. Like I see a lot of CAs listing the bank statements from their clients on a regular basis. Right? So all that can be automated to the million. Then comes the third step is automation and everything, right? Right now, we all are doing another step, which is automating our process, which Dr. Saurabh talked about as well, right? I think that is an important step because that will help us to first ourselves become aware of how to use these tools, having the guardrails to work it. The next step will come where we start getting these data and using AI agents on top of it. So my recommendation for today would be that we should be very and clear about that this is the question that's going to happen. That we have to today start working on the digitalization of the MSMEs, automation of their workflows. These are the critical parts that we have to solve today.
Hello. My name is CA Akhilesh, and I have one query. When we talk about MSMEs, there are generally perceived to be very small in size. And how will the economics work out if we are thinking to develop something for them and scale it at large? Because generally they see we when we talking about solutions, we are primarily talking about the support systems to the MSMEs. And when MSME on the business side, when he thinks of support systems, he would be more interested that how can you make me medium from small or small from micro or bigger. That would be, I guess, area where we may be able to help more them with AI. And like when we talk about the support systems, helping them do business more efficiently, they already have a very small setup which they are trying to run. So how will they get interested, or how people from our community will get interested to invest resources or build a system for them in these areas?
Sure. So, very interesting question. See, when we are building the tools, right? These tools that we build, they are horizontal tools. We don't have to build these tools per client separately. Once we have developed that, the same tools can be used for all the clients because these tools will look at the data of each MSME separately and work only on that data. But the cost that you bear of building the tool will be horizontal once, one time, right? That is one benefit. So MSMEs themselves cannot invest in this for sure, what you mentioned correctly, because they don't have the neither the knowledge nor the interest to do all those things. We have to do that. Second, there will be a lot of support from uh, companies like us, Rally, a lot of companies are working on these kind of things, which will enable the CAs to do these activities in a very minimal cost.
Sumit,
Yes, sir.
good afternoon. Your session was very nice. We enjoyed it. But one thing that my question is that MSME, for MSME is concerned, government has given so many guidelines. Government has given so many guidelines on MSME. They have given a track also that the 45 days you have to make a payment. Otherwise, you cannot make the things. So in that scenario, how a CA can do as a AI agent to motivate and to go through so that clients and
Sir, I did not understand your question. Maybe if someone can repeat for me, that will be helpful.
actually MSME, for MSME is concerned, government has given so many guidelines.
There are so many categories, you mean?
Guidelines, government,
Guidelines. Okay.
government has given so many guidelines what payments have been made in the certain periods and this also regulations. So we cannot avoid all those things. So in that case, yeah, across so many guidelines, how CA can work as an AI agent and do all those things in the channel.
Yeah. So that's the reason why these what Dr. Saurabh talked about, right? So there will be a lot of AI agents that are being built, and this compliances work will get reduced for you because the AI agents will be able to do. The manual work will reduce, and you will only be checking the data what actually the AI agent has done, right? So that yeah.
So his question is n number of compliance needs to be taken care. How AI will ensure that every compliance is ticked mark? How that AI will ensure? His question, if I have understood it correctly, sir.
Okay. So AI will not
Missing anything.
yes,
This
yes,
is more
sure,
that is
sure,
the question.
sure. So first of all, AI will not ensure that every compliance is taken care of on its own. We will have to build those tools on top of AI to get that done, right? For example, let's take an example. We build an AI tool or AI agent which can do GST GST calculation, GST collection, checking. We get an Excel file from a client of sale pictures. Now we have to do the calculation of automation of matching that every data that is required for GST filing is there. So AI agent will do that. It should not do the filing, of course. Filing should be done by you because the responsibility in the end falls on us, right? You should click the button after checking the data once. But the manual work that we were doing, is doing all the validations, all that will get automated. So this is an example. Similarly, a lot of other things will get automated one by one. So that has to be done piece by piece, and then this will all pieces will come together. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Friends, after the presentation of Mr. Sumit Agarwal, it is one thing clear that AI or agents thereof are not our boss. We are the boss of AI or agents thereof. So we will guide and we will control the things. And that will only support us. And when we put the AI or the agents as our boss, our life will be miserable. From last two sessions, this is conclusion what I have understood. So thank you, Mr. Sumit, for a nice deliberation and enriching our the CA capabilities in thinking about the building the future financial operation system for MSME. A big round of applause for Mr. Sumit Agarwal. Thank you, sir.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to welcome you all to the technical session 6 of the ICI EIRC AI Summit 2026. We now invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly grace the dais for the panel discussion. May I request CA Shyam Agarwal, our moderator, to kindly come down to the dais. Among a big round of applause, may I welcome CA Shyam Agarwal, sir. May I request CA Aditya Kumar Maheshwari, sir, Secretary, EIRC of ICAI, and panelist, to kindly grace the dais. Yeah. May I request the rest of the panelists, CA Amitesh Agarwal, sir, CA Rahul Rungta, sir, and Mr. Ankit Virani, to join the esteemed panel on the dais among a warm round of applause. It is my privilege to introduce our first distinguished speaker, CA Shyam Agarwal, third generation chartered accountant, who has a dual professional fellowship in both ICAI and Insurance Institute of India. He is a systems and forensic auditor along with a risk management expert. He is an official ICAI master faculty for ICAI's AI course. He is AI and Tech Committee leader in the All India Federation of Tax Practitioners. He is also a national corporate trainer who has taken sessions in premier B schools. He is a senior professional leadership and played key leadership roles, including General Secretary of the DTPA and Joint Secretary of AIFTP Eastern Zone. Interestingly, he's also an international karate champion and a community and sports enthusiast. Please have a big round of applause for Mr. C.S. Shyam Agarwal. And I would request Vishnu Kumar Tulsian sir to kindly felicitate C.S. Shyam Agarwal. And we have a warm round of applause, please. Thank you so much, sir. It is my privilege to introduce the second panelist, C.A. Amitesh Agarwal sir. C. Amitesh Agarwal sir is a third generation practicing chartered accountant from Kolkata and secured All India rank fifth in the DISA examination conducted by ICA. He is a member of the Tax Audit Quality Review Group and an empaneled peer reviewer with the peer review board of ICAI. He serves as a special invitee to the exposure draft committee of EIRC of ICAI for the year 2025-26. He is also an empaneled faculty under the peer review board and the BOS of ICAI. He has previously served as a special invitee to the DAAB board and also a co-opted member of the Committee for Aggregation of CA Firms of EIRC of ICAI. He is a regular speaker and faculty member at ICAI conferences, seminars, workshops, and training programs across India. His key area of expertise includes tax audit, peer review, auditing standards, code of ethics, quality review, NFRA, and AI in CA practice. He has strong expertise in audit and assurance, data analytics, MIS implementation, e-filing compliances, and Excel-based automation tools to chartered accountants. May I request CA Hariram Agarwal sir to kindly felicitate CA Amitesh Agarwal sir. Can we have a big round of applause for the same? Thank you so much, sir. It is my privilege to introduce the third panelist, CA Rahul Rungta sir. He is a distinguished leader in digital marketing, digital transformation, and finance. He is a chartered accountant and an FCA with over 20 years of industry experience. As the marketing head of e-Intelligence, one of the India's pioneering remotely operating digital marketing agencies, he has driven successful digital campaigns and transformations for an elite list of over 500 clients. He is a visiting faculty at premier institutes such as ICAI, SPJ in Mumbai, Narsi Monji Mumbai, MICA Ahmedabad, IMT Ghaziabad, and more. Since 2016, he has successfully trained and mentored more than 6,000 professionals and students. He has authored 4 books, including background material for the certificate course on startup and the future of work, outsourcing technology and trade in services for ICAI. He has also earned recognition as an industry performer, a LinkedIn power profile, and inclusion in the Impact Digital Power 100. He has served as the president of the VIP Road Chartered Accountants Association for the year 2024-25, the largest CA association in Eastern India representing over 1100 CAs is life members. I would request CA Vishnu Kumar Tulsian sir to kindly have the tribute to felicitate Rahul Rungta sir. Also. Yes, sir. And we have a warm round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to invite another panelist and introduce them. Mr. Ankit Virani sir is associated with Vyapar Tax One, formerly known as Suvit. Sir has worked closely with the chartered accountant ecosystem, driving innovation in accounting automation, AI adoption, and practice transformation. In his work, he has been enabling CA firms to enhance efficiency, reduce manual effort, and transition towards more scalable, technology-enabled, and advisory-driven practice models. May I now request CA Hariram Agarwal sir to kindly felicitate Mr. Ankit Virani sir with a moment. And we have a one round of applause, please. Thank you so much, sir. With this, I would request the session chairman and panelists. I'll hand over the same to you. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you, Kunal, for the lovely pleasantries to start the session. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Now I can feel that this room is live. So, this panel has been designed by our very own EIRC with a thought-provoking subject that why AI, how AI, and why not AI. So, I've been given this onerous responsibility to moderate this panel, this lovely set of panelists who have done a lot of work around AI, has been in the profession for a long time, and they have dealt in and out on how the subject works out, how the subject pans out. So before I start, I want to throw a couple of questions and ask you by showing your raising your hands, by a show of hands. How many of us have used an AI model in the last week, in this week, I would say, to draft a letter for a client, to draft a reply for a client, or to draft anything? Maybe a chat GPT, maybe a N10, maybe a Hermes, maybe anything. A show of hands. How many of us use? So I can say around 60% of the room have raised their hands. Okay, now keep your hands raised. My follow-up question is, how many of you have a policy of what data to upload on that platform and then decide, okay, this data needs to be uploaded to make draft this reply or not? How many of you have a policy with respect to that? Keep your hands raised. Others can remove your hands. So I can see only 2 hands at the back or one more, three hands at the back who have a policy that, okay, I need to upload this data on this platform and then by which I can get my answers. So this is the whole reason from where we started with 70, 65, 70% of the room raising their hands to just 3% raising their hands. That is the reason this panel has been formed and I am being allowed to moderate. No, the challenge being technology has thrown us different things on us. Computerized accounting came, we were told that book paper will be vanished. Then Tally was installed in every district, in every nook and corner of India, and the small practitioners would be vanished, it would have shown. GST automated everything, all the indirect tax compliance and everything, and it was said that compliance will be automated and it would not be. But has that been the case? No. Come AI, artificial intelligence. Say 2, 3 years back, we have been very in and out. Our institute is taking level 1 courses, CP seminars, AI summits on how we use AI. But we also know that AI gives us drafts, AI gives us confident answers. AI does work at 2 a.m. in the morning while we are asleep. That's the confidence that we are talking about. But shouldn't we be more, say, fearful of the fact that is that confidence true or is that confidence hallucinated? The confidence at which we give the answers, it may be right, and many a times we have seen that it is wrong also. So the question that we are here going to pose today to all the panelists is why AI, how AI, and why not AI? So before I begin, a big round of applause for all the panelists before we start here. Thank you so much for agreeing and being a part of this panel. So I would start with a very basic question to Rahul Rungta ji, our first panelist, that the biggest line that we hear about AI Summit is AI has come, it is going to assist us and it is not going to replace us. I think the taxi drivers were told by Uber. I think the Swiggy and Zomato guys were told by the restaurants and everyone. So how is it applicable to chartered accountants to professionals? How much this line is applicable and why should we not be fearful about it?
Okay. Thank you, Shyam. Good morning, everyone, or rather good afternoon, everyone. I have just come from attending another summit from Mumbai. And there at 10 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, they had, of course, 700, 800 attendees. But now I am even proud of the fact that at EIRC at Saturday morning, we have got around 400, 500, or 200, 300 odd people here. And it's a good mix of people that I'm seeing here. So Again, congratulations to everyone. Please put a huge round of applause for yourselves that you have taken this initiative. Uh, so maybe play the devil's advocate in this panel. That's what my role is, right? So your your statement that AI is here is wrong. AI was here for a long time, right? Uh, the day when we first used Uber, we were using AI. The day when we first logged into Facebook and looked at our wall, we were using AI. Right? So AI has been around for a long time. It's just that now the computing power is such that things that were earlier complex or only few could do it, now we can also do it. ChatGPT, OpenAI, all these are very old companies. These are not new companies, right? You can't even call them startups. No one refers to them as startups in US, right? But the point is that AI has been around for a long time. A, B, this fact that AI will replace us is again a wrong notion. Technology has always replaced professions, right? Back when the first industrial revolution had taken place in UK, right? Of course, we were thrown under the bus by our colonial masters, but UK experienced the first industrial revolution. This was early 1800s. There was a profession called knockers up. What was that profession? At 4 a.m. in the morning, someone will go and knock on your window to wake you up, right? This was a very lucrative profession in the 1830s, in the 1840s. But then what happened in 1850s? Alarm clocks were invented, and that profession, you don't hear of it anyone. Now the only notices we have is our moms. "Mami, मैं कैसे पढ़ ली? अभी मैंने तो उठा भाई." Right. So the point is that professions will get replaced all the time with technology. AI is nothing new in the trend. That is a evolution of humanity that is taking place. We and more than us, the senior ones who are sitting out here, you have witnessed far more advanced technological changes, the advent of internet, the advent of computer. Those were far more technological advancements that we have faced. Are we more relevant to the society 25 years down the line, or are we as CAs not relevant at all? As bookkeepers, which was our role back in early 90s, 1980s, we were considered as bookkeepers, right? Now we're not. We are more of a compliance managers. If we remain within the role of compliance managers, we will become irrelevant. We will be replaced by machines. But if we continue to evolve our roles, if we continue to play the role of a strategic advisor, of guardians of laws in the society, we will always remain relevant. That will be my humble submission.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul. Would like to add, I being a third generation CA, I often talk with my grandfather, and he tells me that when he used to do his articleship in the early 60s, then there was Calcutta Yellow Pages at that point of time. And his principal used to give him the Yellow Pages directory, and there were numbers written, and he was asked to add all the numbers and then give a solution, give the answer to make him apprise of the fact that when you will be given long balance sheets and you have to add up because that time Excel was not there. You are sub select kiya and add up ho gaya. So he was being used to train in that manner. And from there we have come to a place where आज हम balance sheet की photo खींच के chat GPT में डालने के लिए इसमें Google check करके बताओ मेरे को. From that reason to this, how AI can help us, we have come a long way. To Ankit sir, your thoughts on the question that I have posed that AI is here to assist us and not to replace us.
यार थोड़ा बैक स्टोरी पे जाते हैं कि लाइक मेजरली सीए डिग्री मिलती है तब तक आपकी एज 25 ईयर हो जाती है ऑन एन एवरेज 25 ईयर में सीए बनते हैं राइट मेजरली यहाँ पे लोग रेयर केस में 21 या 22 में सीए बनते होंगे तो मेरा ऐसा मानना है और मैंने पूरे इंडिया में जितने सीए से बात किया तो जिससे भी मैं इंटरेक्ट करता हूँ आप आप लोग सभी आपकी लाइफ के गोल्डन मीन्स हम क्या है कि 21 के होते हैं ना 20 या 21 के तब हमें फ्रीडम मिलती है फैमिली से कि यार अब तुम्हें जो करना है क्योंकि आप बड़े हो गए हो आप एंजॉय करो तो मैं काफी बार सोचता हूँ यार डेटिंग के टाइम पे घूमने के टाइम पे आप लोग पढ़ने में लगे होते हैं कि कुछ दुनिया बदलनी है देश बदलना है या तो इकोनॉमी में कुछ करना है आफ्टर 25 मैंने मैक्सिमम सीए को देखा है कि लोग रिटर्न फाइलिंग और ऑडिटिंग में रह जाते हैं बिकॉज
कि वहाँ पे वो लोगों के पास ऑप्शन नहीं है। वो क्लाइंट के डेटा के साथ, क्लाइंट के ट्रस्ट के साथ कभी छेड़खानी नहीं कर पाएँगे। उसको नहीं करना होगा तो भी वही करना है कि लाइक मुझे ऑडिट और रिटर्न फाइलिंग या तो कंप्लायंस वाले पार्ट पे जाना था। तो व्हेन टेक्नोलॉजी कम्स, तो जो चीजें इजी हो रही है, तो जो उसका गोल था कि लाइक सीए बनने के टाइम पे मुझे बड़ा फाइनेंस एनालिस्ट बनना था, लाइक लॉट्स ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी। जैसे लास्ट सेशन में ही सुमित जी ने बताया, उससे अगले वाले सेशन में सौरभ जी ने बताया कि सिक्योरिटी साइड पे काम करना है, डीपीडीपी एक्ट के टाइम पे काम करना है, या तो लाइक सीएफओ बनना है। वही आपके ड्रीम होते हैं, बट अभी तक वो अचीव नहीं हो पाए बिकॉज ऑफ की टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थी, आपको ही सब काम करना था। तो मैं तो ऐसा देख रहा हूँ कि आपके लिए गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी है, क्योंकि आपके लिए कुछ भी करना इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है। तो नाउ योर टाइम स्टार्ट नाउ, कि अगर एआई आया है तो अब आपका, वो बोलते हैं ना कि समय आया है, आपका डिकेड आने वाला है कि बनाओ जितना पैसा बनाना है, लाइफ जो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, वो सब चीजें आप कर सकते हो बिकॉज ऑफ कि आपके हाफ ऑफ द टास्क कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे एआई से। तो आपको जो करना है उसकी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलने वाली है।
एब्सोल्युटली। तो जैसे अंकित जी को अगर मैं एक एनालॉजी और एक कनेक्ट कर सकता हूँ, तो मिड 90s में कंप्यूटर रेवोल्यूशन आया था। तो उस समय पे यही बोला गया था कि कंप्यूटर सारा काम ले जाएगी और हमें काम करने की मतलब हमारा काम कम हो जाएगा। बट क्योंकि वेरी प्रिसाइज कंप्यूटर आने के बाद हमारा काम और बढ़ गया, हमारे पास अपॉर्चुनिटी और बढ़ गई काम करने की। सो दैट एनालॉजी इफ वी से कि एआई आने के बाद हम और काम कर सकते हैं और अपॉर्चुनिटीज ओपन अप हो सकती
इवन लाइक अगर आप 10 साल के पहले का डेटा देखो तो रजिस्टर्ड एमएसएमई 60 lakhs, और आज एमएसएमई का नंबर है 6 करोड़ प्लस। तो डे बाय डे इंडिया में लोगों को भी अवेयरनेस है कि बिजनेस करना चाहिए, यहाँ पे इनोवेशन करना चाहिए, ऐसे आइडिया पे काम करना चाहिए। लोट्स ऑफ ऐसी चीजें टेक्नोलॉजी में जो लाइक आज तक यूएस या चाइना या जापान जैसी कंट्री सोच सकते थे, आज इंडिया भी कर रहा है। सो उस तरह से, जिस तरह से बिजनेस इंक्रीज हो रहा है, तो लाइक आपकी कम्युनिटी तो इतनी छोटी है कि आपके पास तो काम का कोई कमी ही नहीं है।
है। करेक्ट, करेक्ट। अग्रीड ऑन दैट, अंकित सर। Our Secretary Sir, Aditya Maheshwari Sir, your thoughts on how AI will assist us and not replace us.
Let me begin with the statement that AI will replace.
Very big statement.
Uh, if we will keep on carrying the way we have been doing it, certainly we shall be replaced. There is no denial in it. And otherwise, if we start using it, the usage of an AI is not limited to writing up a letter with a chat GPT and something else. It will certainly include developing few of the smaller tools for our offices, because cost wise, our services are going to be more competitive in the days to come. Because earlier, if any particular work used to take 20 or 30 man days to complete an audit, so now it can be completed within, we may say, 5 days or 7 days. So our overall cost will decline. Our cost of investment into these AI tools is going to increase. And maybe in the days to come, yesterday only, I was having a discussion with Vanika ji. I do not know whether she's here or not. I mean, I just gave an example that normally we chartered accountants give the assurance certificates based on the sampling of the data that we actually do. And days are going to come where our competitors, maybe non-chartered accountants, would come and say that we'll give you the audit of 100% of your data. We'll extract 100% of your daybook and we'll get the audit done. And we are guaranteeing that each and every part aspect of the daybook shall be touched upon when we give our reports. In that case, that particular enterprise will be tempted to get their accounts audited by a non-chartered accountant. I'm slightly momentarily talking negative, by a non-chartered accountant, because a chartered accountant will try to shelf within the, or will shade within the sampling, whereas he has a competitor who is going to give 100% of it. Now thereafter, if a chartered accountant also comes in and says that we are going to touch each and every data of your daybook and we are going to give the same thing to you, In that case, the other competitor will immediately go away from the mind of the enterprise and will again the work will come back to the chartered accountant. It means I'm just trying to give an example. If we are not being competitive with the with the non-chartered accountants, in that case we'll be replaced. If we will be using this AI in detail, we will not at all be replaced.
Agreed. So, to a certain extent, when, say, I was practicing, say, 10, 12 years back, then one of our senior members from the council told me that, Shyam, we are not fighting with other chartered accountants of our fraternity. We are fighting with the software engineers that are sitting out there who are going to take away our jobs because the jobs are manual and repetitive. They are going to go and then we will get free. With the advent of AI, I think the ball has again come to our court and we can take charge of our profession again. Coming to Amitesh, sir, your thoughts on our question, how AI will assist us and not replace?
Thank you, Shah. I'll just like to add on 2 or 3 aspects. First of all, we need to understand we are chartered accountants and our primary aim to do is external services giving the audit as an auditor. Okay, that is what has been entrusted to us by the power of statute. That is only available to us as a chartered accountant and not to any other profession in this regard. We need to understand that with the help of this, we need to take assistance. AI will, we have to make sure that it is assisting in giving us the assurance service in this manner. The professional supervision in any manner cannot be replaced by AI. Okay, just I'll like to add on 2 or 3 aspects. Every one of us are using Google Maps. If I'm not wrong. Okay, so as example, if I tell you, okay, there's a small road on which it is showing that it is not possible to go through this road. It is heavily jammed or something like that. However, and if I tell you, practically it was not jammed. Only 3 or 4 miscreants, what they did was they placed their mobiles randomly, and AI was telling me, "Nahi, rasta jam hai, you have to take a detour." It does happen sometimes. So I am not going against the AI, but we need to understand that professional skepticism will be there. As an auditor, we need to understand the large amount of data sources which we are required to process, understand, and evaluate. We have to seek assistance of our AI tools in this regard. कि वहां से data elicit करके then we start our function as an auditor. Just like the analysis of trial balance will be a concept. If I take example of last 20 or 25 years, the manual system was there. Then our seniors or our grandparents used to say कि कलपट मिल गया और the trial balance मिल गया. So the audit is done in this regard. Then came in the picture of these computerized systems, wherein it was obviously known that trial balance should be matched in this regard. That is fine. Financial statements, if prepared by the client, 60% of the audit was done. But as an auditor, we need to understand draft financials in all those with client बना के देगा ही. ठीक है? That is what our work is not on the financial statement preparation. Our work is to understand whatever has been disclosed. That is the end result which has been disclosed. How we are trying to assimilate and gather confidence whether the data that has been reported there are correct. And for that purpose, बहुत सारे data को analyze करने के लिए जो हमको है ये लेना पड़ेगा and that will assist us. We need to understand this professional skepticism will always be there. Yes.
Thank you, Mitesh. So we have two devil's advocate and two supporters of AI here, and we can see that difference ekdam live and clear. So coming back to the question that how we have understand why AI. Now we come to how AI. So अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं आज के डेट में से अभी मैंने थोड़ा देर पहले बोला कि our competitors were software engineers and not fellow chartered accountants. But on the other hand, if we say we have big 4, big 6, big 10, उनके पास एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, उनके पास एक बैंडविड्थ है, उनके पास मनी पावर है, सब कुछ है. एंड एक तरफ हम टू पार्टनर फर्म इन टियर 2 सिटी और टियर 3 सिटी है आज के डेट में. सो अगर एआई का आज हम बात करते हैं तो आज एक चैट जीपीटी का वैल्यू है $20 पर मंथ और एनी क्लाउड टूल और किसी भी टूल का एक वैल्यू है. सिर्फ एक टूल से क्या हम काम कर सकते हैं या फिर हमें और टूल्स खरीदने की जरूरत पड़ती है? एंड बिकॉज एक छोटे फर्म के पास वो बैंडविड्थ नहीं है, वो पैसे की सपोर्ट नहीं है कि वो पूरा रेगुलर काम कर सके, रेगुलर सब्सक्रिप्शन ले सके, तो हाउ डू वी थिंक क्या एआई ऑलरेडी ये वाली जो बैटल है कि हम एआई को लेके एफिशिएंट और मोर प्रोडक्टिव हो सकते हैं, क्या ये सिर्फ बड़े बिग फर्म्स के लिए है या हम छोटे फर्म्स में भी इसको अप्लाई कर सकते हैं? अंकित सर, योर थॉट्स.
So nowadays बड़े फर्म या छोटे फर्म का नहीं था पहले बिफोर 5 ईयर एआई या आरपीए वैसी चीजें थी कि जो बड़े फर्म से अफोर्ड कर सकते थे बिकॉज कि उसकी कॉस्ट या तो वॉटेवर जो भी चीज है वो लाइक बहुत ही हाई थी बट नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स एआई इज अ कमोडिटी लाइक ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं छोटी फर्म उसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर सकती बट यहाँ पे आपको मल्टीपल टूल्स की जगह पे ध्यान वो रखना है सबसे बड़ी चीज पहले होती है कि गैप्स आइडेंटिफाई आपकी फर्म में कहाँ पे कितनी चीजें मैन्युअल हो रही है अभी उसमें से सबसे ज्यादा पेन पॉइंट जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्वमेंट आइदर सैलरी मोड से आइदर अदर थिंग्स लाइक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कॉस्ट या तो वोटेवर कि जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट हो रही है लाइक जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा आपकी टीम का टाइम इन्वॉल्व है जहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा आपकी कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व है तो जरूरी नहीं है कि आप पूरी फर्म को एक साथ ऑटोमेट करो सबसे पहले गैप आइडेंटिफाई करो और उसमें भी आप वो चेक करो कि आपकी टीम की कैपेबिलिटी क्या है कि जो इजीली एडप्ट कर सके उसको आइडेंटिफाई करने के बाद बस उतने पोर्शन से ऑटोमेट करने का स्टार्ट करो जिससे आपकी खुद की बैंडविड्थ फ्री होने लगेगी देन आप धीरे-धीरे उसको इवैल्यूएट करते जाओ और आपके हर एक प्रोसेस को वन बाय वन ऑटोमेट करो जिससे आपका कॉस्ट बर्डन नहीं लगेगा एज़ वेल एज़ आफ्टर सम मंथ्स और सम इयर्स आपकी 100% प्रोसेस ऑटोमेट हो जाएगी और वही जो प्रोसेस की कॉस्ट है, वो आप अपने क्लाइंट से ही रिकवर करते होगे जो काफ़ी नॉमिनल है और आपके प्रॉफिट के जो नंबर्स है वो भी इंक्रीज़ हो सकता है। बट उसमें सबसे पहले गैप्स आइडेंटिफाई करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। राइट जगह पे राइट टूल इम्प्लीमेंट करो।
करेक्ट। सो अगर मैं बोलूँ कि मैं जैसे एक फर्म के साथ बात कर रहा था तो वो अग्रीमेंट्स बहुत बनाते थे, लीगल ड्राफ्टिंग बहुत करते थे। बट उनके प्रॉब्लम क्या थी, जो स्टाफ मेंबर्स थे या जो उनकी टीम थी, कहीं न कहीं छोटे-मोटे गलती होते थे। बट एआई लगाने के बाद उनका जो लेवल ऑफ चेकिंग था ना, वो काफ़ी बढ़ गया एंड जो काम वो चेकिंग के लिए जो एक आदमी को पूरा रीड एंड चेक करना पड़ता था, तो टाइम कम लगा एंड दे कैन डू मोर वर्क ऑन दैट एस्पेक्ट। तो
एज़ वेल एज़ हम कंसल्टिंग फर्म में सबसे बड़ी गलती करते हैं कि हम टीम को इन्वॉल्व नहीं करते। जैसे कि यहाँ पे कॉन्फ्रेंस में हम आए और हमें कोई टूल अच्छा लगा या तो कोई आइडिया अच्छा लगा तो हम बिना टीम के इन्वॉल्वमेंट के उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर दे रहे हैं तो उसको बाय कर लेते हैं। तो बिफोर बाइंग पहले टीम का इन्वॉल्वमेंट ज़रूरी है उसको हमें वो टूल यूज़ नहीं करना है, वो टीम को करना है। तो उसका ट्रायल भी टीम ले उसको चेक भी टीम करे, अप्रूव भी टीम दे। रादर देन कि हम अप्रूव दें उसकी जगह पे उसके पास से अप्रूव हो जिससे एडिक्शन बहुत ईज़ी हो जाएगा कि लाइक टीम को भी कहने की नहीं, नहीं सर ये नहीं लेना था, ये नहीं हम यूज़ करेंगे वो सब चीज़ें।
करेक्ट सर, वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट कि अल्टीमेटली यूज़ तो हमारी टीम को करना है, तो वो कंफर्टेबल होने चाहिए। सर आदित्य सर, योर थॉट्स?
Uh, basic level of the subscription of the chat GPT or Gemini or Hermes, वो तो हर सी फर्म को करना पड़ेगा। I'm very will be clear on this particular part. Maybe if you may not agree, but as you are saying, first of all, I'm very clear that there is no terminology like Big Four, Big Six, Big Eight, Big 50, and something. The institute is a platform wherein everything is equal. What gives an edge to few of the larger firms are in respect of their presentation. And this is the best time that we can give equal kind of quality of our service as that of the larger firm as far as the presentation part is concerned. I believe that many of the smaller firms, proprietorship firms, carry the equivalent amount of the knowledge which the larger firms also do carry. But the presentation generally it is seen of the larger firms are more better at times. The reason being they have a separate dedicated team for the presentation only. Now we have the agents with us. I've seen, I mean, very recently, it's hardly been 6 or to 8 months. On one side, on the slum sale, we were consulting, And on the other side of the slum cell, another firm was consulting. The another firm gave 26 pages of quotation. And the other side of the client was boasting of their consulting firm like anything just because they gave 26 pages of the quotation. Whereas we gave hardly half page of quotation. We are itna lenge on the one side. But nobody was boasting about me. They were boasting with 26 pages. No, I'm not. It's only I have to say to the chat GPT, this is my quotation. Please make it as 26 page of quotation so that I can also compete with the Samne wala person and take that hefty amount which I was not able to take from my side of the client. So we have to start using it. If you say how to use, the first thing we should start giving quotation through AI. Keep the amount part, keep the client part as a placeholder. Placeholder is something we should start writing placeholder. कि आप placeholder बना के दे दो. Placeholder means आपको bracket करके छोड़ देगा जहां आपको सिर्फ client का नाम बनाना है and quotations का amount डालना है. So nothing is going out. आप MRLs at times we shy away. Suppose we are a proprietorship firm, कौन लिखेगा इतना MRL? पहले तो इतना सारा लिखो, फिर उसको बनाओ. कुछ एक हमारे इस तरह के clients होते हैं. We are discussing in a very closed room. That's why I'm discussing. कुछ एक clients होते हैं बोले इतना इतना लंबा चौड़ा आपने query डाल दिया, इसका reply भी आप ही बना दो. At times it happens like that because they will say we are not so competent enough to give a reply to this, but हम आपको बता सकते हैं इसका reply क्या होगा, but हम लिख नहीं सकते हैं. In that case, the MRL can be prepared and with the advice of our clients, what they want to say, we can also get it prepared. आपका documentation भी बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगा उससे. And peer review वगैरह, now तो peer review वगैरह more and more institute ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ये होगा. NAFRA is at our head. तो हमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा working paper strong करना है. वहाँ हम लोगों को जरूर से start करना चाहिए. Apart from the various smaller tools that each of one should make.
तो मैं याद कर रहा हूँ आज से अराउंड 8-10 साल पहले एक इंस्टीट्यूट का ही एक सेमिनार था. उसमें एक स्पीकर आए थे. उन्होंने बोला कि श्याम मतलब ऑडियंस से बात कर रहे थे तो बात हुआ कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ गुड प्रेजेंटेशन एंड अ स्मॉल टाइम फर्म प्रेजेंटेशन. तो उन्होंने एग्जांपल दिया कि श्याम समझो कि अगर आज एक आईटीआर फाइल किया मैं एक प्रोपराइटर का, तो मैं रिटर्न में उसको क्या दे रहा हूँ? एक उसको एक्नॉलेजमेंट कॉपी दे देता हूँ कि सर आपकी ये रही आईटीआर, ये फाइल हो गई, आपका बिल हो गया 5,000 रुपए. वो सामने वाला देता है. बट ऑन द अदर हैंड एक बिग फर्म क्या करता है, उसमें पेपर बनाता है, पहले ऊपर में एक इंडेक्स लगाता है, उसमें देता है सर ये आईटीआर का एक्नॉलेजमेंट, ये आईटीआर कॉपी, ये आपकी बैंक स्टेटमेंट जिसके बेसिस में चाहे, ये पीएल, ये बैलेंस शीट, ये 26 एएस, ये आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट. तो पूरा एक पेपर बना के उसको दिया. डाटा उसी को सजा के वापस दिया और वो उससे 50,000 रुपए ले लेता है. सो दैट वाज द डिफरेंस जो सर ने हमें समझाया था कि ये प्रेजेंटेशन डिफरेंस एक स्मॉल टाइम फर्म में बिग टाइम फर्म में ये होता है. नाउ विद द एडवेंट ऑफ एआई आई फील व्हाट आदित्य सर वाज टेलिंग वाज वेरी करेक्ट कि हम उस चीज को मैच कर सकते हैं एंड प्रेजेंटेशन बढ़ा सकते हैं. सो ये फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन विद बी सर, चैट जीपीटी और टूल्स के बारे में तो बताया, बट क्या हमें चैट जीपीटी जैसा कोई टूल खरीद के सिर्फ लेना चाहिए कि हमें एन जैसे मॉडल्स के ऊपर अपना टूल बनाना चाहिए? मतलब I want to say, how should a CA sitting in this room feel empowered from AI and not feel that मेरा billable hour are getting wasted because मैं NATN में कौन सा नोट कहाँ लगाऊं, क्या लगाऊं, कैसे लगाऊं, is not my cup of tea. Your thoughts, Amitesh?
First and foremost, let me tell you, we have to understand the aspect कि ये जो tools की बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, these are sub modules to various works we are performing. Okay? कि आप अगर audit report issue कर रहे हो तो भी उसका एक part है, because of using this tools you are getting an overall satisfaction कि हाँ I can go ahead with the same, but again perspective critical step पे सब लेके कर रहे हैं. Now with this tools whatever we are trying to say, we have to also have our own repositories also, because these tools are not customized for a chartered accountant. We have to understand first and foremost thing. ठीक है? Even if institute is giving कि institute में जो GPT वगैरह institute ने दिया था, that was customized for a chartered accountant और CA GPT we were talking about. But the normal Claude और AI, N8N और ये सब में भी जो nodes वगैरह की बात करते हैं, the repositories or the aspects which we are wanting. जैसे मान लीजिए N8N वगैरह में जो process flow है या impact power automate में what we are seeing कि चलिए data scrap करना ये सब करना है. But as an auditor, here in our expertise comes into play. How we want the data to be extracted, And for that purpose, we need to understand that just मेरे डालने से मैं data इस सब से extract कर रहा हूँ when I'm performing the audit will not serve the purpose. We have to understand what is the actual requirement of the ICAI requirements या legal laws and regulations in this regard. जैसे मान लीजिए if I take a small example of balance confirmations. Okay, sir. Balance confirmation is one of the very powerful areas, and with the help of AIs, with the help of various tools, there are balance confirmation tools which are helping us. We can send the say वहां से डेटा और ऑटोमेटिक फीडबैक्स वगैरह भी आ जाते हैं, रिस्पॉन्स आता है तो वी हैव टू रिकॉर्ड, अदरवाइज द थिंग इज दैट फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट वी हैव टू हैव इन वर्किंग पेपर कि जहां पे ऑन व्हाट बेसिस हैज दिस सैंपल्स बीन सिलेक्टेड जिसको आप कंफर्मेशंस भेज रहे हैं आज डॉक्यूमेंट की किसका गया बट देन वी आर फेलिंग टू appear in document की what was the rationale for selecting the same. Herein again comes the aspect of skepticism कि वहां पे आपको एक प्रॉपर एक वर्किंग पेपर के हिसाब से जब आप सिलेक्ट कर रहे हैं तभी उसको बोल दीजिए कि आई नीड दिस काइंड ऑफ डेटा वंस इट इज स्टार्टिंग एट बी प्रिपेयर्ड सो दैट इज वन एस्पेक्ट वी आर happy about that. Yes, okay, the rationale is getting selected. But then you cannot ask the AI जनता कि rationale भी तुम लिख के दो. That first of all, even auditor will it cannot be delegated to the AI कि चलिए rationale also you may give it. It will give you certain aspects कि किस तरीके से I can point it out. I'll just add two more aspects in this because that is another aspect with the aspect of this confirmations also. Standard says that the confirmation request has to flow from the auditor directly and not from the client. So now if I'm telling, if someone is telling me to say yeah, confirmation module ले लीजिए, so we need to ensure whatever the requests are getting flowing, even if through the software, फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट क्लाइंट के साथ में भी अपने को एक ऑथोरिटी लेटर लेना पड़ेगा कि यस क्लाइंट गिव्स मी एन ऑथोरिटी लेटर टू दिस कम्युनिकेट विद माय क्लाइंट और विद माय वेंडर्स इन दिस रिगार्ड एंड आई अटैच दैट लेटर with the confirmation seeking yes client has given me authority to communicate with you ये भी standards बोलता है and then only I communicate with the client and that thing from that point email ID जो उसके साथ जो है so we have to understand when we are trying to incorporate various tools जो requirement of the standard है उससे बगावे नहीं कर रहा है because what is required suppose if I am doing it directly sending it to the client I am getting the responses. But in that regard, if I take help of an NFRA or QRB, they say the auditor has not appropriately done the auditing because he is not sorted on an independent basis directly. And what happens even after doing a RAT steps, we are failing to establish that the audit procedures are done in the correct manner. So यहाँ पे I just add to that कि we have to understand what they are trying to do. First with the requirements and various guidance tools maybe now we are trying to come up with a lot of summaries wherein this is that can help us in this regard. ये मेरा एक छोटा सा deviation to that is important to let the members be aware of the fact. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Amitesh. Rahulji, your thoughts, whether we should buy AI tools or or we should build AI tools and waste billable hours.
Okay. Again, I'll play the devil's advocate. I think we are getting the priorities of our profession wrong by asking this question कि whether we should build the tools or not. जब Tally आया था, how many of us thought of building another Tally? Right? We are not coders. There are sufficient computer engineers there in the market. They don't have jobs. ये mindset से निकलना पड़ेगा कि सारा काम हम खुद कर लेंगे. Why aren't we thinking about collaborating with other IT professionals and making sure कि हमारा जो requirement है हम वो करें? We are the custodians of the financial independence of the country. Why are we talking about IT infrastructure? Right? आज as you have asked, all of us are using ChatGPT, Claude, or any form of GPTs. What is it that we're doing? Maximum हम लोग इसमें think engineering करते हैं. Even that is not usage of AI. हमारा काम coding करना नहीं है. आज how many of us know about FTA? What are FTAs? थोड़ा बहुत न्यूज में सुना. आपको पता है कि परसों से यूएस यूके का FTA इन्फोर्स हो गया. How many of us have thought about whether this FTA can be beneficial for my clients or not? तब हम कंप्लेन करते थे बंगाल में तो धंधा नहीं है, ईस्ट में धंधा नहीं है. सॉरी मारवाड़ी आदमी तो धंधा के रूप से बहुत समझ में आता है कि क्लाइंट्स का हमारा पता नहीं करते. हाँ, क्लाइंट्स को हेल्प कितना करते हैं. Why aren't हम with due respect to the institute and of course dearly love EIRC, but how many FTA के ऊपर सेशन हमने ऑर्गेनाइज किया या अटेंड किया है? आपको पता है कि अब कौन कौन सा FTA इन्फोर्स होने वाला है? Why are we deprioritizing ourselves from being a chartered accountant to being maybe computer engineers. जिसका जो काम है उसको करने दीजिए, हमारा जो काम है हम उस पे करेंगे। आई एग्री विद अमितेश टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट कि ये जो ऑडिट प्रोसीजर है जहाँ पर हम लूप्स कर जाते हैं, तो जिसके चलते हमको समाज से या गवर्नमेंट से रिस्पेक्ट नहीं मिलता है, लेट अस ट्राई एंड फिक्स अवर एरियाज ऑफ प्रायोरिटीज, और वहां पर हमको जो जो टूल का यूज दरकार लगेगा हम उसको यूज करेंगे। आज if I'm not satisfied with my गाड़ी का माइलेज बिकॉज ऑफ इट फ्यूल, दैट डज नॉट मीन कि कल से हम गाड़ी का इंजन बनाना शुरू कर देंगे। Let those let us demand it from the market कि boss give me such a tool and then I will use your tool. Let's not waste time, right? Couple of other things. अब जैसे सर ने बोला गैप एनालिसिस, आदित्य सर ने बोला कि बिग 4 और बिग 50 में हम डिफरेंशिएट नहीं करते हैं। ये मत कीजिए सर, लेकिन क्लाइंट तो करता है। जैसे ही किसी क्लाइंट को फंडिंग मिलता है वो बोलता है हमको तो बिग 4 से लेना पड़ेगा। इन्वेस्टर्स का मैंडेट होता है कि अगर किसी स्टार्टअप में या किसी एमएसएमई में इन्वेस्टमेंट आना चाहिए, आप उसको दे दीजिए, आप उसको बिग 4 को ऑडिट देना पड़ेगा। अडानी के ऊपर लाछन ये लगा कि भैया दो दो यंग सीए उसका ऑडिटर है। ये तो हमारा सोसाइटी का माइंडसेट है। इवन टुडे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स बोलता है कि भैया यूपी गवर्नमेंट ने एक ऐसी कंपनी के साथ 20,000 करोड़ का साइन अप कर लिया, मिल गया है जो जिसका कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं है। तो जब हम खुद स्मॉल बिजनेसेस को या स्टार्टअप को क्वेश्चन करते हैं, then how are we expecting कि हमारे क्लाइंट्स हमको क्वेश्चन ना करें? The point is कि big let us focus on how can we challenge the big fours, और वो आप क्लाउड और चैट जीपीटी का प्रॉम्प्ट के बेसिस पे नहीं कर सकते कि माय ईमेल्स आर मेड थ्रू क्लाउड और माय प्रेजेंटेशन इज मेड थ्रू क्लाउड। प्रेजेंटेशन को प्रेजेंट करना भी आना चाहिए, क्लाइंट को कॉन्फिडेंस रखना पड़ेगा कि भैया हमारा 50 पार्टनर का फर्म है, ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है हमारा। हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस नो अबाउट डीपीडीपी, कितना हमने गार्ड रेल्स लगा लिया अपने फर्म में। जब हम ये बताएंगे नहीं क्लाइंट को, और कोई बिग फोर आके बोलेगा कि जी ये हमारा डीपीडीपी कंसल्टेंट है, तो वो तो यही सोचेगा अरे आपने तो कभी हमको डीपीडीपी का नाम भी नहीं दिया। So let us be practical about what is it that the society wants from us. Let's not live in our dreams of, again, please pardon me for the term, fool's paradise की boss, I should be making a great AI tool. नहीं चाहिए। कितना दिन हम कर पाएंगे भैया? एनीटन मैं जबकि आई एम सपोज टू बी अ ट्रेनर, मैं एनीटन लेके मैंने आधे घंटे का मेरा दिमाग खराब हो गया। तो इसके लिए पता है ये बना यार, इतना ज्यादा थ्रेटिंग है इसमें। Let's be practical. Let's think about what is it that the society wants from us. अगर मेरा क्लाइंट को 1 करोड़ का फीस के लिए बिग फोर के पास जाना पड़ता है, मैं ऐसा क्या करूं कि वो 1 करोड़ का फीस के लिए मेरे पास आए। Let's have that clarity. टूल्स को उसके लिए आप यूज कीजिए कि if I have to achieve that level of excellence in my work, excellence in my delivery, how can these tools help me? And instead of, again, we should know AI. हमने country का कई सारा लॉस, जीएसटी, आईबीसी, all of this is successful because of chartered accountants. We took a lot of effort in understanding it, right? Let us also please try and put in a lot of effort. What is the demands of the country that is soon going to become a 5 trillion, 6 trillion, or even a $10 trillion economy? Let's start getting ourselves, let's not wasting our time कि हम AI tool बनाएंगे, वो बच्चों को करने दीजिए। Okay, let's do serious business. That will be my submission.
Lovely takeaway, Rahul भैया. The audience has given its answer कि कितना अच्छा लगा. So coming to Aditya Maheshwari भैया, from the institute sides, I have a query कि मैंने अपना client का सारा data उठाया, chat GPT में डाल दिया. ठीक है. Now I feel, मेरे को लगता है मैंने जितना वनिका से बात किया कल से शायद मैंने एक DPDP का रूल ब्रेक किया. तो फॉर द सेक ऑफ ऑडियंस कैन यू टेल मी कि क्या इंस्टीट्यूट इस पे अगर कुछ एक्शन लेना चाहे तो क्या लिया जा सकता है? हैव वी ब्रोकन एनी रूल ऑफ आवर प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स?
See, the moment we acquire a client, the client shares their data with us. And as yesterday Rahul Bajaj ji was explaining that we act in the capacity of data fiduciary. Now we cannot reveal that particular data to anyone other than without the consent of the client, or other than the fact that the regulators are asking for our working papers, wherein we enter into an agreement with the client that we shall be sharing if the regulators shall be asking. Apart from these two matters which our clients are telling, our regulators are telling, we are not supposed to share the data to anyone. sharing the data to the chat GPT, uploading it to anything, maybe Gemini, maybe Google, is a curse, is a very big mistake that any CFO would be doing. And having said this, if the complaint goes to the ICAI, ICAI is a very strict disciplinary mechanism. And if the complaint goes to the ICAI, to my understanding, will not be able to defend this. So that we have to take care while we do it. Amitesh.
Amitesh would like
I'll
to.
just add, I will add to this. So we need to understand the working papers is the responsibility of the auditor and the audit firm in this regard. He has to maintain total secrecy of that firm. Okay. Now, there are also case laws. If I may tell you, you will laugh at it, but that was also a case wherein it was say, suppose auditor of the auditor of the company was doing the audit, and there were certain discrepancies wherein the auditor was asked to resign. He resigned the same, and thereafter, after resigning, suppose within 1 month, there were certain anomalies happening in the case of that company. It is a 1956 case, not the 2013 case, but 1956 wala case. And then after what the auditor did, the auditor themselves so much went to the registrar of companies and they complained that these are the mishappenings taking place. Okay. You will be astonished to know that again there was a case filed with the LCI mechanisms wherein they said that you have violated the privacy matters and you have gone on and complained to the privacy without any authority in this regard. Like, what should have been should stake in this? What do you say? Was the member correct or was the member incorrect or disciplinary actions में क्या हुआ? Any idea? क्या ratio would have done? Any guesses, sir? कि ICAI ने उसको reprimand किया कि it was let scot free. That okay, you have correctly pointed out to the regulator, and that is correct, and no actions will be taken against you. Any idea, sir? Yes, a raise of hands. Is it correct? Is he correct that he has reported to the regulator of the mishappenings in the company? Yes. Is it correct or is he wrong? Okay, sir. Now with the case, conscience is correct. But please understand, first and foremost, he was not acting as an auditor. After auditor खत्म होने का बाद auditorship खत्म होने का बाद he went and complained not during the course of his audit. That was one of the main aspects. Okay. Secondly, he should have, as far as the regulations are concerned, he should also says you can only communicate with even the regulators also with इसको seeking audit permission. इवन जैसे मैं पहले 140 टॉल का रिक्वायरमेंट्स है ये सब में भी उसमें स्पेसिफिक बोलता है कि एम्पावरमेंट दी जाती है कि यू कैन गो एंड आस्क द रेगुलेटर यू कैन फाइल कंप्लेंट other than that in case I directly complain as a whistleblower बहुत जगह पे इंस्टीट्यूट के रेगुलेशंस में आप क्लाइंट एज एन ऑडिटर एज अ कंसल्टेंट आप नहीं जाके कर सकते बी वेरी कैटेगरिक अबाउट इट सो एज एन ऑडिटर वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड these things have also taken place in the pre-AI cases also AI के केस में तो if we bring this in this AI context also. So now please understand वहाँ पे मैं regulatory भी जाके बता रहा था even in these cases wherein mishaps have taken place. Although the company was reprimanded, that's another issue. But the member who also reprimanded कि आपने without seeking authority from the client आपने data कैसे share किया और auditor that way, why didn't you report this at that appropriate moment in your reports or something like that and you have failed to do your work diligently. Now coming back to this aspect, sir, that is why since this was brought into picture, so please understand, instead of this level से चल रहा था, अब अगर if I am not trying to follow the aspects of this client data privacy in this regard, that is why a lot of times we are saying कि data को black and करके data को जो आप उसको move कर दीजिए, data को अलग से change कर दीजिए, so that client data doesn't go into the system. So that is why they are trying to build it, which का 20 elements से build कर रहे हैं. सुनने में अच्छा लगता है but even the cost is involved. So we need to understand even if we are trying to data provide कीजिए लेकिन कुछ इस तरीके से डेटा को मॉडिफाई कर दीजिए. देयर आर वेरियस सेशंस यू मस्ट हैव ऑलरेडी अटेंडेड कि डेटा को थोड़ा सा आपको जो है चर्न करके चेंज कर दीजिए देन यू टेक हेल्प ऑफ दिस. दैट थिंग इज दैट. यस.
Thank you. So, taking a cue from your point, sir, Amitesh sir, where we need to draw a line is very important. So, Ankit sir, आपसे ये question होगा कि as a chartered accountant sitting in this room, what is the hard stop where one CA should say AI कितना ही better हो जाए, मेरे को AI इसके बाद use नहीं करना है. where should we put a hard stop? Because ये तो आज जो रेस में हम भाग रहे हैं, it's a rat race that we are following AI का, कि कुछ भी डाल दो, कोई भी टूल यूज कर लो, कहीं पर भी चला जाओ, डीपीडीपी का किसी को अंदाजा नहीं है कि 250 करोड़ तक पेनल्टी है, क्या है, कुछ नहीं पता. So as a chartered accountant sitting in this room, how should I put draw a line, put a hard stop कि नहीं, इसके बाद मेरे को AI नहीं यूज करना चाहिए.
ओके, सो इसमें ऑलरेडी सौरभ जी ने लाइक काफी बड़ा सेशन तो दे ही दिया है, तो लाइक लोगों को वो तो पता चल ही गया होगा कि कहाँ पे हार्ड स्टॉप करना है. बट सबसे पहली चीज कि स्टॉप से पहले कि स्टार्ट करना, वहां पे देखना जरूरी है, क्योंकि काफी बार क्या चीजें होती है कि हम स्टार्ट कर दे फिर स्टॉप करने का समझ में नहीं आता, या तो हमें फिर स्टॉप भी करना होता है ना, तो भी तब तक बहुत देर हो जाती है. ठीक है, तो स्टॉप से उस क्वेश्चन को मैं थोड़ा ऐसे लूंगा कि स्टार्ट कैसे करना है. तो सबसे पहले एज ए सीए हमें देखना है कि हमारे पास क्लाइंट का बहुत प्रीशियस डेटा है. तो उसके लिए रादर देन यूज फ्री टूल्स, टेक पेड टूल्स. जैसे कि पेड टूल्स भी अब आप यूज कर रहे हो तो उसकी प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. लोग सिर्फ, मैं यहाँ पे इतना श्योर बोल सकता हूँ कि मैक्सिमम लोग यहाँ पे इंक्लूडिंग मी टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन एंड प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी में सिर्फ टिक मार के करते हैं. आज तक यहाँ पे हॉल में बैठे लोगों में से कितने लोग हैं कि जिसने डिटेल में प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी पढ़ी है कोई भी टूल बाय करने से पहले या तो साइन अप करने से पहले? एनीवन? तो यहाँ पे अभी तक क्या था कि
So what he said and a very good question. What if you don't agree with that terms and conditions? Can you change it? You can't.
यू कैन. तो आपके पास वहां पे एक ऑप्शन है कि आइदर यू डोंट बाय या यू डोंट साइन, आइदर लीव इट, या तो उसके साथ कंफर्ट हो जाओ कि हमें माइंडसेट में पहले से पता है, मैं स्टार्ट करने से पहले कि यहाँ पे मुझे स्टॉप कहाँ पे करना है. तो विथ प्राइवेसी या टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन के बेस पे मुझे पता है इसको कितना देना है, क्योंकि अब समझो कि मैं जीमेल में साइन अप कर रहा हूँ, अब मेरे पास कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है जीमेल के सिवा, तो कोई, या तो व्हाट्सएप में मैं कर रहा हूँ तो व्हाट्सएप के सिवा कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. तो मुझे व्हाट्सएप की प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी या टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन के बेस पे पता है कि मुझे वहां पे क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना है. जहां पे आपके पास ऑप्शन नहीं है वहां पे आपको वो समझना होगा कि कितना देना है कितना नहीं देना है, और जहां पे आपके पास ऑप्शन है कि नहीं दूसरा टूल मेरे पास है तो इसको छोड़ दो. और फिर लोगों की प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी या टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन पढ़ना इजी इसलिए हो गया कि सबसे पहले मैं ऐसा करता हूँ कि एआई टूल का यूज प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी एंड टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन पढ़ने के लिए करता हूँ. तो साइन अप करने से पहले उसको ही बोलता हूँ कि तुम्हारी कंडीशन पहले मुझे समझाओ कॉपी पेस्ट करके कि इसमें क्या रेड फ्लैग्स है फॉर मी. तो आपको पूरी टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं, सिर्फ एआई को दे दो, वो पढ़ के दे देगा कि नहीं आपका डेटा इतना जाने वाला है इतना नहीं जाने वाला.
करेक्ट सर.
तो स्टार्ट बहुत जरूरी है कि बिफोर स्टार्ट क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है. फिर बाद में स्टॉप वाले पार्ट पे तो सबको पता है कि नहीं फाइनेंशियल डेटा नहीं देना है या तो वोटेवर चीज जो भी है. फिर अगर स्टार्ट गलत कर दिया तो फिर स्टॉप लगाने का ऑप्शन नहीं मिलेगा.
थैंक यू सर. तो सर ने मेरे क्वेश्चन के साथ अच्छा प्रॉम्प्ट इंजीनियरिंग करके स्टार्ट पर स्टार्ट बना के पूरा एनालॉजी डाल दिया. थैंक यू सर. राहुल जी, एक क्वेश्चन आपसे कि आज के डेट में व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज हम हर चीज अपने टीम को भी आज हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि टीम को ट्रेन करना है, एआई कैसे यूज करना है. बट हम लोग ट्रेन कर रहे थे जब आई थिंक 10-15 इयर्स पहले, तो ट्रेनिंग हमें दी जाती थी विच हैज बीन पास्ड ऑन फ्रॉम जनरेशंस टू जनरेशंस. आज हम एक ऐसी जनरेशन बन गए हैं कि हम अपनी ट्रेनिंग कंप्यूटर पे दे रहे हैं एंड नॉट टू द पर्सन सिटिंग इन आवर ऑफिस. सो योर थॉट्स की आगे आने वाली जो जनरेशन है हमारी सीए की, वो कैसे इस चीज को टेकअप कर पाएगी जो हमें एक्सपीरियंस हमारे फोर फादर्स से मिल रहा है, हमारे सीनियर से मिल रहा है, ये क्या कंप्यूटर नहीं बताएगा?
So again, good question. But I think more than the training, what we, what's the demand of especially small firms to grow is to set up processes. So एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल है, मैं जब मेरे किसी फ्रेंड के ऑफिस में जाता हूँ, सीए फर्म ऑडिट चल रहा है, उसको कुछ काम असाइन करना है, अगर उसको अपने आर्टिकल को या अपने फुल टाइम एम्प्लॉय को दे, तो बोलता है अरे सुन इधर तो मतलब वो उनका बैलेंस शीट चेक किया था, गलती मिला था। तो अगर हम ये करते रहेंगे तो भैया नो अमाउंट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग विल बी सफिशिएंट, राइट? One of my very close CA friends told me, I want to hire a person who has got the talent to build balance sheets. You don't need to have a talent to make balance sheets. बॉस वो तो सिंपल लॉ को फॉलो करना है, बट उसका टैलेंट है कि हमको उसको सिखाना ना पड़ेगा, सिखाया है। तो हमारा सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि वी डोंट हैव अ सेट ऑफ प्रोसेसेस। काम कैसे असाइन करें, रिपोर्ट कैसे है, अगर हम काम असाइन करें तो डू वी गिव देम चेकलिस्ट और नॉट? अगेन क्लासिक एग्जांपल, कुछ दिन पहले एक फ्रेंड के यहाँ बैठा हुआ था, उसने वो कुछ सर्टिफिकेट बनाना बोला, आई थिंक नेटवर्क सर्टिफिकेट और सम काइंड ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट। तो वो आर्टिकल में जब वो सर्टिफिकेट बना के लाया, उसमें अमाउंट उसने गलत लिख दिया। सो वो उसके पे चलाने लग गया, व्हाट इज दिस, तुमको कुछ नहीं आता है, तुम क्या करता है? आप तो आर्टिकल का कॉन्फिडेंस तो गेन नहीं कर रहे ये करके, neither are you helping yourself. What should have been an ideal case scenario कि बस ये तुम नेटवर्क सर्टिफिकेट बना, देख इसका ये चेकलिस्ट है, ये 5 पॉइंट चेक कर लेना मेरे को देने के पहले, राइट? सो द effort should go towards building that SOP, building that checklist. मैं अपने फ्रेंड्स को बोलते बोलते थक गया कि भैया चेकलिस्ट बना लो, टाइम नहीं है यार, टाइम ही नहीं मिलता है, जिंदगी में टाइम नहीं मिलेगा। Point is कि should you put in your effort into doing something that will keep giving you returns for the next 5 to 10 years? Or should you put in effort to do an effort which after 2 to 3 months time will give you no result? क्या आप ऐसा शेयर पे इन्वेस्ट करेंगे जो कि शायद 3-4 महीना तक उसका कोई वैल्यू ना रहे? आप करेंगे वैसा शेयर पे इन्वेस्ट, बट आप अपना टाइम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं वैसा एक्टिविटी पे, which is more precious than money, right? So my point is, your the training has to be taken in by the tools, but not in the form of कि कैसे करना है, in the form of making checklist. कुछ भी छोटा एक्टिविटी है भैया, ट्रायल बैलेंस से हमको ये पर्टिकुलर बना के दो, चेकलिस्ट बनेगी ना, आपको तो मैक्सिमम 1 सप्ताह लगेगा। यहाँ पर आज चैट जीपीटी यूज करेंगे, people like you who have been trained so well by the seniors, it will take you maximum 1 week, but 1 week आप छुट्टी पे चले जाते हैं, लेकिन आप 1 week इसके लिए नहीं निकालते। My complaint again is not कि these tools are not gods, कि भैया वो आके बोलेगा 10 और मेरा सारा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गया, नहीं होगा। These tools are like cars, they have replaced an old form of transport. Now, can we learn to drive these cars properly or not? That is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul Bajaj. So, taking a cue from your answer, my final question for this panel would be to all the 4 panelists sitting out here, one by one, I'll ask all your answers. Is AI making chartered accountants better in terms of processes, in terms of delivery, in terms of everything that they do in and out? Or it is making us smaller by allowing other people to do the job that we do from AI. And while we clap for AI, कि अरे वाह AI ने ये कर दिया, and our fees are getting मतलब काम हमारा खत्म हो रहा है and fees will get zero. So my question is AI making CA a bigger and better individual as a professional, or is it going to make us smaller if we don't defend it? So pick one and defend it. Starting with you, Aditya.
See, my opinion about the chartered accountant, including me, is that हर chartered accountant बहुत जिद्दी इंसान है। जिद्दी in a positive sense, I am telling, because ऐसा कोई भी person एक CA नहीं बन सकता है जब तक कि उसमें एक जिद ना आए और CA फाइनल्स के लिए वो अपने आप को 4 महीना से 6 महीना के लिए एक हाफ पैंट में एक रूम के अंदर बंद ना करे। This is very, very difficult work for any particular person. And all the members sitting out there are the chartered accountants. So, वो लोग कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। ये सिर्फ जानने वाली बात है कि हमें ये करना है या नहीं करना है। Now, coming to your question, हम क्या outsiders से हम छोटे हो जाएंगे या बड़े हो जाएंगे? सर, एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट मुझे ऐसा लगता है दैट जो कुछ भी करेगा, जब भी अगर शिद्दत से करेगा तो हमें जल्दी कोई डिफीट नहीं कर पाएगा, बिकॉज एक टफेस्ट एग्जामिनेशन हम पास करके आए। सो हमें कंपटीशन ऑफ कोर्स आउटसाइडर्स से तब होती है जब हम आउटसाइडिंग वाली कुछ एक एलिमेंट्स को अपने में लेते नहीं। सो यूसेज ऑफ एआई हैज टू बी देयर टू compete with the outside world. मैं सिर्फ इतना मानता हूं कि अगर मैं उन टूल्स को जो मार्केट में अवेलेबल है प्रॉपरली यूज करूंगा, then I am the best. Otherwise, I may be smaller in front of us.
Thank you, Aditya. Ankit, your thoughts.
1980 में यहाँ पे पास आउट हुए कोई सीए है अंकल आप? यस। 1980 में सर मैं आपको एक क्वेश्चन करता हूँ कि क्या यूज करते थे आप? उसके बाद कैलकुलेटर। तो आपने लाइक उसके बाद कंप्यूटर आया तो कंप्यूटर यूज कर रहे हो आप? हाँ। लैपटॉप, स्मार्टफोन, एआई। सिंपल आंसर है। सीए को चेंज करना मीन्स वो कितनी भी उम्र हो, लाइक 1980 में पास आउट है।
So CA are the most adaptive creatures on this planet. ये हमें रोज लॉ चेंज कर रहा था, हमें अपडेट कर लेते हैं, तो टेक्नोलॉजी क्या चीज है?
सर आप जब उठते हो ना तभी आपको पता है कि आज तो कुछ ना कुछ आने वाला है। आप कभी प्रेडिक्टेड चीजें लेके जा ही नहीं रहे हो ऑफिस में।
लाइफ ऑफ अनसर्टेन।
हाँ। तो वहां पे मुझे नहीं लगता कि सीए को कभी कोई चैलेंज आने वाले है अडेप्ट करने में। अडेप्ट करना तो जरूरी, देखो टेक्नोलॉजी है या तो कोई भी चीज है। हम साइकिल से बाइक पे आए, बाइक से कार पे आए, अब तो एलन मस्क लाइक स्पेस में भेज रहा है और स्पेस से रिटर्न भी लेके आ रहा है। ठीक है। वो सब चीजें दुनिया पूरी अडेप्ट कर रही है या तो जो भी इसमें है। तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि आपके लिए टफ है। लाइक अगर इतनी एज पे अगर सर एआई अडेप्ट कर रहे हैं तो फिर बाद में यंग लोगों को तो उसका आंसर मिल ही गया होगा।
Absolutely, absolutely, sir.
राइट।
Amitesh, your thoughts.
The thing is that, sir, we need to understand the core. We have to understand ki AI, again repeating, ki the aspect is it will assist us in our services what we are providing. We cannot and we should not delineate from our core objective of the audit profession in this regard. Audit कैसे करनी है वो कुछ कुछ जगह पे I like to point it out. There are cases wherein we are now relying more on the AI कि AI ने अगर दे दिया तो कितनी बार अपने लोग दिमाग छोड़ देते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है, it's okay if it is giving it is fine. Let me tell you, aspect we need to understand the date which is the aspects which AI is considering to give you the outputs. Suppose I'm trying to give you a scenario wherein the repository of the data which was fed to the AI. Normally, it was fed in the aspect of accounting standards. Okay. And the company is required to prepare in terms of India. Suppose that was the case. But आपने clarity नहीं दी AI को, and suppose you are not very much accustomed to the aspect of what is the requirement thereof. ठीक है. And yes, you started giving it कि चलो ठीक है. On an average, you start preparing certain notes on accounts or based on the notes on accounts, you do the vetting in this regard. And the AI started doing the vetting in a very proper format. However, the only embargo was that it went in the terms of the accounting standards and not as per the Indians, which was the requirement. अगर आपको ये चीज नहीं पता है and you are solely relying on the fact कि भाई whatever AI has given you, you are proceeding the same, it will create problem. So as an auditor, which we will not be doing and we are not doing. Okay. Now, one more aspect I like to tell you is auditing softwares. There are various audit softwares. I'm not naming any of them, but please understand. It is not replacing where we are doing the audit. It is assisting. Even using because आपको लगा कि मैं बार-बार assist word use कर रहा हूँ, but that is the main crux of whatever we are discussing. Regarding audit कैसे करना है, we should not and we cannot and we are not forgetting the aspect is कि whatever processes which it is incorporating in these processes, अपने को ये पता होना चाहिए इस प्रोसेस के बाद ये प्रोसेस जो आ रहा है वो टूल सही तरीके से कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, and the context has to be given by the auditor only कि risk assessment ऐसे करना है. We cannot rely on the audit software itself or the AI tool itself to decide कि ये रिस्क असेसमेंट ज्यादा है, ये रिस्क असेसमेंट कम है. ऑडिट प्रोसीजर में क्या कर सकता हूँ उसमें थोड़ा सा हेल्प करेगा, बट देन इट इज अगेन मी एज एन एंगेजमेंट पार्टनर टू डिसाइड which are the procedures which I will follow. Yes, AI tool will help me in disseminating की allocation आप कैसे कर दो, what is the timeline in this regard, what are the aspects to check based on the checklist which I have provided to them. Okay, इस तरीके से काम करेगा, लेकिन चेकलिस्ट फिलिंग अप करना उसका प्रोसेस में उस तरीके से एआई खुद करके निकल जाए, दैट इज नॉट द एम. या फिर एक और एग्जांपल है इनकम टैक्स कॉम्पिटिशंस. सर We are using tax audit software, yeah, tax comparison software under fixer. But we anyhow in our organization what we are doing is सॉफ्टवेयर से जो बने बने उसके पहले एक्सेल में जरूर से एक रफ हैंड बनता है एंड व्हाट वी डू इन आवर ऑफिस की वी ट्राई टू मैप इट विद दैट एक्सेल वाले अगर वो एक्सेल के साथ मैप कर गया देन वी गो एंड फाइल विद दैट सिम अगर मैप नहीं किया तो हमको हमारे को डाउट करना था उनका 90% मान लेते कि डेटा फीडिंग गलत है बट व्हाट वी कैन डू बिकॉज़ ऑडिटर है he knows this stuff then only he can say the same if I start on the reverse manner when I give the wrong data AI ने बना दिया और मेरे को खुद के ऊपर करने लगे कि भाई कंप्यूटेशन मैंने तो गलत नहीं किया as an editor we need to understand we have to have confidence on ourselves first then only we can say कि ठीक है whatever tools is there how we will see to that but we cannot rely solely on its output.
Thank you. Thank you, Amitesh. Final thoughts of Rahulji, then we'll take any question and answer from the audience if required.
Acha, I think we are out of time, but I'll take 2 minutes. So I am reading this from Gemini, of course. हम भी Gemini ही करते हैं. So critics want that the sudden explosion of accessible novels was a dangerous threat. They claimed excessive reading caused mental deformities, led to dissolution or suicidal behavior. Right? There's this Samuel, something very famous thought leader. He mentioned, he argued that reading too much in solitude caused mental degradation and physical lethargy. This was the opinion on print press in the 1700s. Do we consider reading as a good habit or a bad habit in the 21st century? Right? My problem or my submission to all of us would be our education system is a big curse for us. It was built in the 19th century by our colonial masters. So our mindset is कि बस we have to serve our colonial master. वही हम लोग को पढ़ाया जाता था और आज भी वही पढ़ते हैं. Please change our mindset. Biggest mindset जो हमको सबसे बड़ा धोखा मिला CA बन जाओ लाइफ सेटल है. Life is really sir. Right, that started with class 10. Then class कराया था life settle. That's true. The point is कि why did we put in so much effort? जैसे सर ने बोला कि सबने CA क्लियर किया है तो कुछ ना कुछ लाइफ में अचीव तो किया ही है. कुछ असंभव तो हमने संभव किया है. बट उसके बाद क्यों नहीं करते? क्योंकि बोला तो यार कि ये कर लेगा तो फिर हो जाएगा तो हमने सारा चीजें लगा दिया. तो तब अब एक और आपको नया गुफ्ता छोड़ते हैं. माइंडसेट बदल लीजिए आपका लाइफ सेट है. Please adopt the mindset of the 21st century. I'm telling you again and again. Forget AI, forget anything. आपको ये सबने धुरंधर दिखा, पूरी देखा, ये नया इंडिया है, right? नया इंडिया का सीए कैसा होना चाहिए? Let's work towards that, right? Let us be far more aggressive. Let us एक टर्म है जो हम लोग को बहुत बुरा माना गया हम लोग के प्रोफेशन में, लेकिन उससे क्रिटिकल कोई और टर्म नहीं है. Marketing. Let us adopt new strategies of marketing. Let us start projecting ourselves as thought leaders that we are. We are the economic professionals. CA ICAI Act कब पास हुआ था? 1949. Constitution उसके बाद पास हुआ था. तो हमारे कोई फादर्स पागल थे क्या जिन्होंने सोचा कि पहले ICAI Act पास कराओ? Because you are not an independent country unless and until you are financially independent. Please understand that the society is looking at us. Millions of people who still don't get justice, financial justice, are looking at us. होप कि बॉस आज उसके घर में या उसका जो फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम है हम लोग दूर करेंगे. Let's work towards that. उसके लिए हमको जो AI टूल लेना हम लेंगे.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rahul.
So now the floor is open.
The floor is open to questions. If anybody has any question to any of the panelists, can I have a mic at the back, please? Yeah. On the left.
Hello. Hi, I am Neha Marwa. I am working as a senior manager in EY FAS. And I would firstly like to thank you for the insightful session. And my question is to you, Sir Rahul, sir. I think you gave a very valid point, that talk about or think about the excellence rather than just thinking of, what CAs can do. And, it should be more about collaborating with different professionals. At the same time, whether it's Big Four or it's otherwise, there's a constant discussion that AI will replace jobs. So, what do you think as finance professionals they should do to be more relevant in this AI discussion?
Thank you, Neha. By the way, I have accepted your connection request on LinkedIn. So please connect with all of us on LinkedIn. It's a great platform to be in touch. Thank you for marketing for all of us. साथ में हम भी दुनिया में busy है ना. Okay, so again a very valid question. Like I said, please, you know, financial planning जैसे हम करते हैं, a lot of us don't do that for our clients in our day-to-day practice, but we should do it. वो planning हमने exam time में किया था. Same वही planning अब हमको करना है कि 2035 में what may be the demands of our clients out of us, right? हमको वो planning projection समझना पड़ेगा. उसके लिए हम लोग चैट जीपीटी वगैरह कर सकते हैं, बट उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा है कि हम अपना खुद का ब्रेन्स यूज करें कि भैया क्या डिमांड ऑफ द मार्केट है और उसको अचीव करने के लिए हमको जो जो करना है हम लोग वो करेंगे. दैट्स हाउ वी विल स्टे रेलेवेंट. If we keep doing the same thing again and again, we will become irrelevant. We will be replaced by tech. I won't say AI, but we'll be replaced by tech, right? जिन्होंने एक्सेल नहीं सीखा, they were replaced. जिन्होंने इंटरनेट के थ्रू मेल भेजना नहीं सीखा, they were replaced. Similarly, if we don't use tools to improve our delivery, to reduce our turnaround times, and to, for example, train our people better or have a stronger process in place, we will get replaced, right? So the point is, please look at there are numerous examples for us. India may be a very large economy, sixth, I don't know what's the status in terms of total GDP, but in terms of per capita, we are still probably not in the top 100, if I'm not wrong, right? Huh? 159. So there are many developed economies that are there. जो हमारे लिए example है. I'm sure US में बैठा हुआ CPA NIT नहीं explore कर रहा है. Right? US में बैठा CPA वो Saturday Sunday golf खेलता है. उसको बहुत highly regard किया जाता है कि बस ये बंदा they are regarded as cream of the society. Why? Similarly, there are many developed economies which are actually, I don't know how many of us know about the CA Institute or parallel in China. उसका नाम भी पता है क्या हम लोग को? China is a classic example in front of us. It was a similar economy. Demographics, apart from the political scene, everything is same as us. Right? So what is it that they are doing? How the CAs are being relevant? Their demand क्या है? But 10 साल पहले जो लोग या इकोनॉमी सीए से डिमांड करता था वहां पर आज का डिमांड कर रहा है. So we can look at others. We don't really need to reinvent the wheel. Point is, we'll have to prepare for the demand of the future, and that's how we will remain relevant.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul. Any other questions? Okay. So, before I close, I would like to thank each and every panelist sitting on here, Rahul Rungta ji, Ankit Virani ji, Amitesh Agarwal, and Ankit Virani ji, for their super insightful deliberations and their experiences that they have shared with all of us. At the end, the whole mantra I would say is, I am not replaceable, I am upgradable. So if I upgrade myself with time to time, with new technologies and new things, I'm sure nobody in the world can replace chartered accountants, and especially the chartered accountants of India as we look forward for 2030. So thank you so much for a very patient hearing, and we look forward to seeing you again in the further events after 2 p.m. that is going to be in all the sessions. So thank you so much. Thank you, EIRC, for the opportunity. And I hand over to Aditya ji for further proceedings.
Before we have the lunch session, we have a 10-minute session from Lex Legis. Mr. Carl shall be taking up a session. Will be explaining that how the tools can be relevant for all of us. And we have two speakers, two coordinators who have been throughout this particular AI summit regularly, and we would like to felicitate them. They are from Katak and Bhubaneswar. The first being CA Sakib ji, Abu Sakib ji. So I'll request CA Vishnu Tulshan ji to please come and felicitate CA Abu Sakib ji from Katak. And I will also like to felicitate CA Kunal Junwala ji. I request Mayur sir to please come and felicitate CA Kunal Junwala ji on behalf of EIRC, who has been helping us with one hand. This is an example. एक CA चाहे तो कुछ भी line में cross कर दिया. May you also inform that few of the members have helped us a lot in entire curation of this program, starting with CA Sumit Bihani ji, CA Shyam Agarwal ji, CA Vivek Agarwal ji, and CA Abhishek Agarwal ji, who are also the speakers of the session, and we have highest level of appreciations and gratitude for them. With this, we'd like to invite Mr. Kal Patrawala ji to please give his 10-minute of presentation on his product Lex Legis, which is certainly
Good afternoon, everyone. So what I'll do is I've already shown you the platform and how it works yesterday. I'll just show you a few things you can do with the platform that's different and how you can customize the platform. I'll also take a few questions if you have any. We just have 10 minutes. So in the research section, obviously you can ask any sort of question in any law in India. It can be direct taxes, it can be indirect taxes. So for direct taxes, we have the Income Tax Act, we have the old one as well as the new one. Indirect taxes, pre and post GST, corporate laws, we have the Companies Act and other corporate laws. So you can select which bucket your question lies under, and it will give you answers from that bucket. You can go ahead and ask the questions. You can also ask for different types of output formats. So it'll give it to you in IRAC, TRIAC, and a brief output. IRAC is where you get an extremely exhaustive version of the output. So it'll give you what the issue is at hand, what is the rule being applied, what is the application, and then what is the conclusion. If you're looking for the answer upfront, you can choose CREAC. CREAC will give you the conclusion first and then the outputs. So different types of formatting in terms of outputs. In Interact, when you ask questions with documents that you upload, you can ask output types in normal tabular, narrative, bulleted. You can also ask for different scopes of documents. So if you upload, say, 10 documents, you can ask for consolidated outputs or single document outputs. You can also save your prompts. So you can save something that you work on a regular basis. So I'll just go ahead and upload a couple of NDAs that I have. And once I upload them, what I do regularly is compare these NDAs, a client's NDA to my NDA, right? So instead of typing out the entire prompt, I've saved certain prompts that I use. So I just click on the prompt gets populated over here. You can change this and get specific outputs. And then you can go ahead and interact with the documents. You can also have a question set attached. Question sets are like checklists. You can upload a document, have a question set, and run the entire checklist through the documents. And finally, we have the drafting module where you have different types of draft outputs. I've already showed you all this yesterday. It won't take much of your time. If you have any questions, happy to answer them now. You can come to our stall and ask us questions. Or you can go to v2.lexlegis.ai and ask for You can start your free trial for 7 days. We have special offers for the event and until the end of the month. So please feel free to go. We can also show you personalized demos online or in person or whenever we are here next. We have Mira, which is an agentic AI, which will let you hire virtual agents in the future, go on specific websites, do specific workflows. So that's going to be there as well. We have a Word plugin as well as a WhatsApp chatbot. And then finally, we also have this current Word plugin that I wanted to show you yesterday, but I didn't have enough time. So the Word plugin is simply put, you just open your Word, any Word file, right? And then in Word itself, you can access LexLegis. So you go to search for add-ins, search for LexLegis, and then you'll have a lot of the functionality that you saw on the platform in Word itself on the right-hand side. So you can quickly summarize documents, review documents. Uh, yeah, so this is a part of the package as well as the WhatsApp chatbot. So yeah, that's about it. Nothing more from my side. Please visit our stall, do the free trial, and take advantage of uh, the offer that we have for the members. Thank you.